best friend. He is a brother, my brother from another mother. He will be standing at my wedding. He would be my maid of honor if we were doing it that way. He's the closest person in my life, and it's pretty wild. We met in Cutco over 15 years ago. He actually started Cutco fall of 2001, and I started that next summer in 2002. So I remember meeting him. He was a top performer, top seller. I got a chance to be on the FSM CSP Elite with him that year. The next year, we ran branches. And just so you guys know a little bit about Andy, what the heck, like just so you know who's teaching you, I'd be ready to take a lot of notes. He is, by the way, just shy of 3 million in career sales. Hopefully he'll knock that out this year. But has sold a lot of knives. Back in 2003, he was the #1 branch manager in the DC Metro Division in 2003 after he had graduated. Together in 03, and as I mentioned before, he left Cutco for a couple years, utilizing the skills in another business, and then came back. He's been a Cutco sales professional for 11 years. He hit Cutco Hall of Fame in 2007. Check this out. He has had 2,300 grand days over. He's like, I stopped tracking, I stopped counting, but until it was tracked, over 2,300 grand days. And guys, those are great things to track because you can put that on your resume. And it just says you're a badass. When he goes and sharpens their knives. So $800 on service calls. He has over $1,000 average order on his demos. You know how many 10K pushes he's had? 47. He has had 11 times 20K pushes. He's had 7 pushes over 30K, and he's had 3 pushes over 50K. His best week ever, he sold $35,596 in 1 week. Cool. He holds the record for the Eastern region, best SC2 record at 59,651. Last year, by the way, remember I talked to some of you guys about this, and I talked to the branches yesterday. Last year, 67% of his annual sales were from past customers, all right? So 2/3 of his annual business. He's mentored 5 Silver Cup champions, 5 consecutive years. He's mentored 4 new Standard of Excellence winners last year in 2016. He's currently the #1 residential rep in career sales of the Eastern region. So he's somebody who, those who get to, if you ever have a chance to meet Andy, he's one of the most beautiful hearts, just cares so deeply about people, impacting, serving. I told some of the guys yesterday, this is, by the way, for those of you guys who talk about Angel Wings Foundation, it was his #1 customer who had that, and it was Andy and some friends that we said, let's go build a hospital in Haiti. Let's make a difference. Let's make an impact. And he said his purpose is to make a difference in the world, 1 person at a time. He's the vice president of Angel Wings International. He spends 25 to 30 hours a week, 2 months out of the country for Angel Wings, 3 months on personal travel. And the last 7 years led Angel Wings to build a new hospital, which we had the opportunity to do the grand opening this past January. I would be ready to take a lot of notes. This is a perennial push champion, one of the best ever in our company's history. So if you guys can give him a round of applause and thank Andy Jonty for taking time for us today. All yours, baby.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah. You guys need to respond to him. He's very interactive.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes. Yes. Oh, the plug is.
Way to let me know, because obviously I want you guys to get a lot out of this. This is probably one of my favorite time of the year, as Kathy asked me to talk to her division. I know she introduced me. Thank you, Kat, for introducing me. This has been obviously a very, very long journey for me and your division manager. And this is one of our favorite times of the year because we go all out even think was possible, and that's kind of what it's about for us. So as I was preparing for today, this is actually my fourth talk this week, a different version of this to help people that have just started this summer or people that are performing and that are going all out for SC2, having a different version and trying to prepare you guys mentally and also with strategies on how to be 100% ready to do things that you never thought was actually possible. Obviously, I have a lot of 10K pushes, 20, 30, 40, 50. My goal, I'll share with you guys this year, is to sell $70,000 in the next 18 days. My push starts in about 12 hours or something like that. So I am beyond excited. Everything is like ready to rock and roll. And you guys are the last crowd that I'm talking to before I make my last set of calls and get into SC2. So, you know, as I was preparing for this, I wrote down basically, just so you guys know my objective. My objective with you today is to share basically my top 10 favorite now in your situation. If your average order goes up, you're going to reach your goal a lot faster, right? I mean, it's just a no-brainer. So, and if you do that, then you can surpass 10 grand. I'm sure most of you have a goal of 10 grand, but 20, 30, 40, anything's possible when you have the right tools and you feel very confident. So for me, it's obviously my 15th summer here. So it's, you know, I have a different perspective and I want to bring that to you guys. So my 10 top big closing / tips are very simple. And they're gonna help you understand that our business is like anything else, right? You go and you talk to people, you show them the product, you build rapport with them, and you say the things that they need to understand to make a decision. They're gonna make that decision. So that's what I wanna help with you guys today. How to help your customers make that decision, and make that decision now. So I want to leave some time for questions because it seems like that's very useful for a crowd usually. But let's start with the first one. So the building value is setting the tone. So last year I didn't cover this until somebody asked me, but this year I decided to cover it instead from the beginning and share with you guys the way I share my goals in the beginning of your appointment. And the reason that's so important is because when you are sitting at a customer's house, you have the upper hand, right? You set up your how serious you're taking what you're doing. I have had so many customers that I went to see them, they only have a trimmer. Like $1,200 from me. And when I asked her what color she wanted, she said, I'll take the pearl this time. And I'll never forget that. I was like, what do you mean this time? You don't have Cutco? And she said, yeah, I do have Cutco. And I'm like, well, why didn't you let me do the whole presentation? And she said, because you had a totally different energy about the product. Like my niece came over and she was just like, oh, here's the stuff, and you know, okay, if you want to try it, or like, here's the knife. Okay, it's okay if you don't look at it. It's okay if you don't buy it now. But you were totally different. You're like, come and check this out. Let's cut this, let's do that. And because my energy was different, she was paying more attention. And so she had the trimmer in her drawer with the plastic, never opened it. But after I did the presentation, she bought $1,200. I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that for you to understand how important you are when you're in the presentation. When your customer is a reflection of you. So when you have the right energy and you show them how much you respect what you're doing, they're gonna pay attention, and in turn, the product will sell itself. So let's talk about the tone. I'm gonna go a little bit quickly on the building rapport side, just so you kind of guys have an idea of what goes through my appointment. But a lot of it has to do with rapport and pictures with my customers. Most of you probably don't have that, but that doesn't mean that on your next appointment, after somebody buys a homemaker from you, you can't take a picture with one of your knives and then put them in your book. That's really cool when you share that with other people, how many customers you have. So I go through all of that and some of the memories that I have with customers and some of the trips that people that. After I do that, I even show them a little bit about the clinic in Haiti and all that. And then I get to do the position. So if you have this in your book yet, that's okay because you're pushing it a week, but that needs to happen. That really probably took my push from the first time when I sold like 10 grand to 20 grand. That was one of those things because it was visually clear that I was going for something bigger. And people kind of have a different understanding when you see things, right? So this is actually on the page, sorry. So and I actually have the verbiage written down. I'm gonna send it to Kathy, so you guys don't necessarily have to take the notes down for this, but I want you guys to listen to how it happens. So I say, hey, Mrs. Jones, just so you know, this is the best time of the year to see me. My goal, we're actually in the biggest sales competition of the year, and my goal is to sell $70,000 in 18 days. It's actually never been done before. You are basically at the end of the competition. We're going to go to Atlanta, Georgia, and the whole region is going to meet up from Virginia all the way down to Puerto Rico, including Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. We meet up there to find out who sold the most in the last 18 days. And just so you know, I've been preparing for this for 3 weeks. I'm about to probably sleep like 6 to 5 hours a night. I'm super committed. So the reason I'm telling you this is because it's literally the best time for you to buy from me. So here's the deal. If you see $70,000 of stuff that you like in this book, don't hesitate. I won't stop you. And then we can go to the Bahamas next week, okay? Is that cool? So usually they're like, but if you do see a lot, just don't hesitate. Take the credit card out. I will not stop you. And because I'm super motivated, you're also gonna get the best specials ever. So it's kind of like a win-win. So you're gonna help me and make a total difference for like my competition, but you're also gonna get the best and you'll have Cutco forever. So just so you can kind of see, these are the things that I can win. And I go over some of the stuff that I can get super excited about. I can get a Yeti cooler, whatever, and some Cutco and all that stuff, and you go over that. And then we also have like the competitions, and we get trophies at the conference. Like I told you, we have the top 15 people based on the categories that are gonna win. So this is something that's really important. It has literally made a whole difference because the people pay attention times 10 after that. I mean, think about it. Like, this is serious. I kind of went through exactly the reason. And at this point now, I got their attention, and that's what I want. If I have their attention, I'm gonna be able to like show them everything possible. So that's number one, setting the tone. By the way, the last part of that setting the tone is, and here's the cool thing too, you automatically save 7%, an additional 7% by avoiding the price increase, because next month the price is increasing. You automatically save that just because you're buying from me now. So if you see something you like, of course, right? You can make the customer comfortable depending on like the energy that you already have with them. So that's number one, setting the tone. Number two is the way you present the product makes a big difference. So I'm gonna open my book again. And the number two, if you guys wanna write this down, is presenting the Cutco kitchen. So the reason I do this is not because I'm gonna sell 10 Cutco kitchens during the push. That would be really nice. I could go to the Bahamas tomorrow. But it's because it's going to help me have that $1,300 average order that I've been having the last 4 years for my pushes. I track those things, and it's $50, and a lot of it has to do with the fact, I'll fix this someday, that I create that high expectation. So I want you guys to do that too. There's nothing more fun than creating a high expectation for your customers. So here's what, I'm gonna go through the book here. Some of my pages fell, so give me a second. I'm going to difficulties. I got too excited. All right. Page. Okay. All right, you guys are ready? Okay, so very quickly, basically what happened for my number 2, this is the Cutco kitchen. Just so you guys, if you guys want a quick tip, right before that, testimonials. And there is one testimonials, Kathy, that I should probably share with you. This is a testimonial from a guy in the military who actually saved somebody's life with a Cutco knife that was going to jump off a plane. So that's something that would be really cool for everybody to have in their book. It's an official one. He's allowed anyone to read this on their appointment. So I can actually share that with everybody. Once I read some of those testimonials, I present the Cutco kitchen. And this is where some of the magic happens, right? So the idea, like I said, is not that you're necessarily going to sell the kitchen to everyone. There's a certain customer that's going to love that kind of kitchen. The customers that is in the right place, or you know, they can't afford it. They would love changing everything, but never know you bought it if you don't promote it to everyone. So that's why it's so important to do that. So here's the line, and I'm also going to send that to Kathy. So Mrs. Jones, this is kind of like an overview of everything that Cutco makes. We call it the Cutco kitchen. It has the cutlery, the knives, the accessories right here. It has flatware. That, by the way, is the only flatware made in America. And then it has cookware. So you basically kind of remodel your whole kitchen, and it's the absolute best value that we offer. Some of my customers start with just the knives. Some of them just start with the flatware. Some of them do a combo of some of the two, right? But at the end of the day, everybody wants to come to the Cutco kitchen. So I always tell my customers, if you can't swing it, that's the best value. So I'll let you know about that later. So the reason I do this is because I'm planting seeds, right?
That's the best value. Sorry, I was just reiterating your awesomeness.
So that's the best value. And so, but now let me start by showing you the sets. And so the other point that you guys want to make here, and if you guys probably want to write this down, show them the sets first. Regardless of how your book is designed, you want to show them the sets first. Even if you have knives there, show them the sets first, because that will create a desire of wanting at least sets, not pieces. Nobody wants to sell pieces. It's not the smart way to buy Cutco anyway, so it doesn't make any sense. So position is, now let me show you like the different set that we have. So we have like the basic set. So that's for the people that don't cook. It just has like a couple pieces, and you know, you can cut here and there and stuff like that. Then you have what we call the family set. That one was actually customer kind of requested because they wanted something between our prestigious complete set and something and our basic set. They kind of wanted something in between. But if you really want at least the best of the cutlery, you have to get the complete set. Look at it. Look at that. Look how beautiful all that is.
By the way, he's known for facial expressions and his like sounds, and he's like, shh, look at that. Like every time he's showing stuff, it's awesome.
Look at that. And I'll tell you guys, I'm not lying. When I ask people what they like the most about my appointment, it's always the facial expressions. So it always is. So it sells. Basically, they love it. They love it, they have fun, and obviously they want the complete set because of it. So make sure that you're having fun with that and you're creating that desire. Just so you know, Mrs. Jones, you can put a plate right in front of it that says made especially for Kathy and Spencer and whatever their name is. You have to make sure you remember that. All right, so now, just so we can make sure that we stay on track, I'm gonna go straight into closing. And remember, we can always ask questions at the end, but I'm gonna go to the way to present your wish list, so to speak, so you can kind of close. That's a question that people ask me all the time. So here's my wish list verbiage, and Kathy actually used to love this one. After you show people the sets and then you demonstrate all the knives, you do your regular demo. Just so you guys know, even after 15 years, I follow the program. I just add a couple of really cool and fun things just to keep people's attention. But other than that, I just follow the program. So what I usually do is after I show people all the knives and they're all on the table, and then I'm gonna close, I do the exact same. And whatever, here's something that's really important. What I tell people is, okay, so I know, we're kind of like maybe excited about one of the, but besides the knife sets, right? Let's make a list of everything else that might make your list. And the reason I do that is because it helps me know what they like. That's going to help me give it to them for free to maybe sell an ultimate versus a homemaker, or just to add up to the order. So what I say is, let's make a list of everything that you like. Don't worry about price for now. It's very important. Don't worry about price for now. What else could possibly make the list? And you make it kind of casual a little bit, so you don't want to say what would make definitely the list, or you just want to know what do you think could make the list. The key word is could. What could make the list? And you write that down. Now, very important, you don't want to let them do it. Even though there's some kind of power of somebody writing it down, but sometimes people are lost. They don't know what to do. It's much better if you take control. Write it down on a piece of paper or in the back of the order form. Let's make a list of everything you like besides the knives, right? Besides the knives. And very important, you guys want to write this down, don't, make sure that you sell them off of something. And then what I mean by that, if there's something that you can tell they might not use at all based on during the presentation and you were actually cutting the food or you were demonstrating different pieces, based on their reaction to certain items, if you can tell that that's something that they would never use, tell them as you go through the book, because basically what I do is that I go through the whole book with them. By the way, that's really important. I just started mentoring somebody that's pretty new, and it was very interesting. They're like, well, I don't show them everything. I'm like, what? You're like a store. How could you not show them everything? In other words, you're cheating your customers by like not showing them everything. They deserve to see everything that we make. You never know what's gonna matter to them. Even if they're not excited about the flatware, that doesn't mean that they won't be excited about adding more steak knives or excited about the bacon surf set. So I literally go through every single page and I tell them something about it. I tell them about the bacon surf set and how thin it is, and people really love that because you can really pick up anything. The slice and serve has an actual double DA, and I tell them the story. slice and serve at the store with their cake from the grocery store, and it's like flimsy and crappy. Or this is like a real deal. This is a cut one. It comes with that same double D edge. Anything that you can create a story about, and then look at all the accessories. The peeler is to die for, right? The ice cream scoop, you get them a piece of ice if you have it. You kind of go over everything, and you want to have something to say about every single piece, or at least as a group. Like, people love the accessories. You thought the knives were good? Think about our accessories, right? So those are the little things that you can talk about. And also the sporting pieces. And you kind of go in a group so you can get their, find out their desire level, right? These are the outdoorsmen and the explorer, then you have the hunting knife. So I kind of go over every single page. Now, if I can tell that they live in a townhouse and they really don't have a yard, I'm like, you really don't need that. But maybe for a gift, you know, somebody that like, no, not really. All right, we're not even going to think about that. I say that because I'm working for the customer. I want the customer to buy a lot, but I don't necessarily need to buy everything. I want them to know that I'm working for them. That's the idea. The idea is you're working for the customer. But remember that the more you sell the customer, the happier they will be. My number one customer has $47,000 of cut that she bought from me. She's pretty happy. So think about that. So I go over every single thing, page by page, and remember, guys, sell them off of one thing at least. Show them that you are working for them, okay? All right, let's go to number 4. Number 4 is create specials that you wouldn't usually offer. And, you know, I know for some of you are kind of new, so it might be a little confusing to like work out really, really amazing deals, but I'm gonna try to keep it simple for you. So what I mean by that is, once a customer says yes to anything, don't ever take that as the end of your order. Most of my orders either add at least $100, $200, or $400, and sometimes double after they said yes. Ask yourself that question. Have you been asking for more once they say yes? You have to. Because if they said yes, why not? You can give them a good value by adding something else. So what I usually say is, for example, hey, Mrs. Jones, since you bought this set, you qualify for a buy 3, get 1 free accessory. Or you qualify for a buy 3, get 1 free gift set. And you can kind of ask them if there's kind of any gift set that they would consider for their friends or family or siblings. You know, a lot of times when people buy something, they kind of want to get it as a gift for their parents or whatever it is. Don't lose the opportunity to do that. If you buy, Mr. Jones, since you already bought the homemaker, we have a special with the flatware chest. The flatware. So if you add the flatware to it, to your order, you automatically will get the 6-piece flatware accessory set for free. By the way, the flatware is our signature specials right now. Literally, it's the biggest special we offer. So you tell them that, and then you tell them they can get an additional $256. Don't be afraid to ask for more. It's awesome. Whenever somebody says yes, my goal is like, how high is it gonna be, right? How high is it gonna be? All right, number 5. Number 5 is close with options. So what do I mean by that? Psychologically, when you ask people if they want to buy this, and that's it, well, the option, I can buy this, or I can buy nothing. That's usually what goes in their head, literally. So it's harder to recover from that. So about probably 12 years ago, I completely changed that mentality. And I went from now giving people options. So I give people 2 options, always. So basically what happens is, let's say, you know, they're kind of liking the signature set. And they like it with the table knives, but then you kind of show them the option of the steak knives. That's an easy thing to show, the table knives option or the steak knives. So, Mr. Joe, would you rather get it with the table knives or with the steak knives? Mm. But, and that one is right now. It could also be. So that's, by the way, I got my steak knife engraved. It says "I love meat" on it. It's awesome. Nobody wants to buy table knives anymore. Steak knives. So, think about how funny you can have with it. So that's between two sets, right? But what about having an ultimate set with steak knives or an ultimate set with steak knives with flatware? Don't be afraid to ask for a bigger order. Just tell the customer, hey, there's a lot of big specials right now. Do you mind if I calculate stuff and give you some really good options? That's like a key thing, because number one, you're asking for permission. Write this down, guys. That's a really good thing. Ask for permission. When you ask for permission, people's guards go down and they're more open to it, because they say yes. I've never had somebody say no unless I've already added like 5 things to your order and they're like, no. But other than that, it's usually, sure, show me the option, right? So ask for permission, because then you have time to write it down. Maybe you call your manager and use that relationship and use the dynamic to be able to close something bigger. So, but whatever it is, ask for permission. Hey, this is the biggest time of the year. We have the biggest specials, and we have like very, very big goals. Like, I'm gonna give you the best deal ever. Do you mind if I can work something out and show you some better options? And as long as the better options are better and have a higher number, you're golden. So close with the option, this or that, right? Instead of yes or no. All right, number 6. Number six is what I call, and you guys can write this down and I'll explain what it means. It's feel, like feeling, right? Feel, felt, and found. The 3 Fs. Feel, felt, and found. So what I mean by that is basically is to communicate with the customer that you paid attention to what they were saying and you're gonna offer them another solution. And that's basically what happened throughout the whole negotiation process once you're closing. That's basically what happened. And as long as you can hit that, where you make the customer feel understood and you actually offer a viable option, you're in business, literally. So let me give you an example with that. So let's say a customer says no to, they say no to the ultimate, they say no to the ultimate. By the way, before you ever drop down, and I'm sure that you've been taught this, but sometimes we forget how important it is. So before you ever drop down, my question is always, is it the pieces or is it the money? Or is it the payments? Like, that is very important. Don't think you're gonna lose the customers because you ask that question. No, you're actually that you're there for them and you want to understand what the problem is and you want to help them. Like, people, sometimes their no just means that they're confused, they don't know what to make a decision on, they like, no, right? So ask them always, is it the pieces? Like, whenever people tell you, well, I can't do it now, or let me think about it. That's my first question. Well, is it the pieces or is it the payment, right? So that's my first question. That's a key bonus for you guys. The feel, felt, and found, to go back to that, the way I work it with customer, I say, hey, Mrs. Jones, I understand how you feel. Or sometimes more casual, I'll say, yeah, I get it. It's not cheap. I get it. But obviously you know it's worth it and you're gonna have it forever. So let me show you another option that I think might work a lot better for you. So that's the one thing, right? The second thing is basically what you want to do is to have different ways of dropping down without signing. Let me show you the next option. 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 I find that people don't drop down because they don't know how to make it more, make it flow a lot easier by dropping down. So that's why I'm trying to give you guys this. So I understand, I get it. And then here's another one. Another way to handle it with customers. I get it in situations. You know what? I had a customer that felt the exact same way. Or the next one, I had a customer that was in your same situation. Or, you know, like things like that. Here's what I did for them. Or here's what worked out better for them. Or here's what they like better. So those are all the different ways that you can go from the ultimate to the signature to homemaker, homemaker to the galley maybe back up to the homemaker, whatever it is. But always try to use a different phrase. Don't be that monotone, same thing that you're repeating. People think you're just like a record breaker, right? So, or a bad record. So you want to make sure that you do that. Okay, number. Clear to me that people get nervous during pushes. You get very nervous, so you tend to speak very, very fast, and you're like constantly like fast on the phone, fast on your appointment. And I can tell you one thing that I learned this very long time ago: speak slowly. Write this down. Speak slowly. Speak slowly on the phone. Speak slowly on your appointment, because you want the customer to pay attention to you. And you know, this is something I would say to even practice with somebody in your office at some point in the night. You know, try to like practice some of the things that I just talked about that I'm going to send to Kathy, and try to like do it slowly. Make sure that they listen to your speed. All those things make a difference. Those are the details that make a big difference in sales in general. All right, so number 8. Number 8. Am I 8?
Yeah, 8.
Yes. Number 8. This one is more for the phone, but this is gonna really. I hope you guys are already doing this. If you're not, sometimes I even forget. Like sometimes I go on vacation for 2 weeks and I forget when I come back. So I'm sharing this with you. Always double tap. Double tap every phone call. Think about it. Some customers. The phone rings. How many times does our phone rings and we don't pick it up the first time? But if the person calls the second time, we're like, oh, it's serious. This could be somebody, you know, that's really trying to get a hold of me.
By the way, double tap means call in a row 2 times. For those who don't know what double tap means.
If there's a customer that I actually. So, you know, it's like, it's awesome just to see the power of that. You have no idea how many people you'll get a hold of by double tapping. It'll probably be double the amount of people. And there's nothing better than having more results on the phone. That's going to help you with your results during the push. So always double tap, sometimes triple tap. Okay, speaking about the phone, I wanted to give you guys a keyword. This is something where when I've been at office and people will hear me say it, they're like, whoa, this is like, I have to use this. So my keyword is once I get on the phone with a customer and I introduce myself, let's say for a demo, they don't know who I am, right? And you know, I was referred to you, I'm a friend of Betty or whatever. What I always add, especially if I can hear on the phone that they're either busy or they have that energy that's like, I can't stay on the phone, I add to my phone approach, I want people, oh, by the way, I won't keep you long. And then bam, I go into my approach. That is very important, guys, because so many times, you guys probably can relate, right? People just want to get off the phone, they don't even give you a chance to go into it. But when you say I won't keep you long, unless they're an emergency, the hospital, they're gonna stay on the phone with you. So at least you're gonna eliminate those people that would have gotten rid of you in the first 5 seconds. So make sure you add to your approach, I won't keep you long after you introduce yourself, okay? And the last key, before we go into some of the things I want to show you guys in the push, is something that I learned probably my second campaign, something in Cutco. And I was that rep, and I think one of the reasons why I got along very well in the beginning is because we were just go-getters. Like we did the things that people didn't want to do. Like she would drive down to Miami to do appointments from Palm Beach, an hour and a half on the weekends or whatever she could, because she went to school up there and she was from Miami. So my last point for you guys is drive further. I'm sorry, my dog is asking me to go outside. I'm so sorry, I'll be right back.
And by the way, we're gonna go through stuff that for you guys with deals. You know, at number 4, I said once he said yes, ask for more. On Wednesday morning, Josh Mueller, who's over 3 million in sales in our events, whoever wants to tune in, he's going to be streaming live at 8:30 a.m. on Wednesday for our division. He's doing it for our office, and I said, hey, can we do it so that anyone can stream in? So Josh Mueller will get some great keys on number 4. With closing, we're going to go through closing the kitchen. Andy's back. So Andy, I'm sorry, aisles are number 8 was double tap. What was number 9?
I won't keep you long on the phone.
2.
I won't keep you long. And number 10 is drive further. So what I was talking about is how much driving further and basically being a go-getter will pay off. I drive on average probably like 200 miles a day on a regular day of appointments. And it's really, first of all, I go wherever I have the good leads. I don't care if it's an hour away. I don't care if it's an hour and a half away. I'm going. That's where I got the leads. I'm not going to wait until I have an appointment that's only 10 minutes next door. I'd rather drive further, take more chances, and take more risk. The reward is going to be higher. So I've been explaining how Kathleen even did that in her very first couple of years when she was selling down here. I did the same thing from the beginning. Just to share with you guys, the last, my 350K pushes, for all 3 of them, I did something kind of crazy. The first record, I flew to Chicago for 48 hours and sold like $6,500. And basically, I stayed at one of my customers' house, and he took me to his parents' house and sold some cookware and all that stuff. Last year, I drove 10 hours within 2 days, and I sold $10,000 just in that 48 hours. And because I just had a bunch of really good leads spread out all over Florida, and I just literally called all of them and created a route, and basically left Miami and just went all the way up and just went all the way down and sold 10 grand just in 2 days. So I'm not saying you have to do that, but I'm saying take the chances, take the risk. I mean, it's always paid off, always paid off. And on a regular basis, I'll drive an hour, 2 hours every day. So it doesn't matter, the results are gonna come. So to kind of wrap it up, I know we have a couple minutes, I wanted to share, hopefully a lot of things that I shared today are gonna help you tremendously. But there are some other things that could also make a difference, and I want to go over some of them with you. And those are the things that I've implemented basically ever since I've been selling 20 grand plus for my pushes. Just to kind of put it out there for you guys, your goal may not be 20 grand. It's basically my keys to success just to push is that I never come back home during the day. So tomorrow, when the push starts and I leave my house tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., I'm not gonna come home until the day is over. If I have appointments and gap in between, I'm gonna drive somewhere, whether it's the office or basically close to my next appointment, get on the phone in the car. And that's basically what I do. My car becomes my office. It makes absolutely no sense for me to drive 10 minutes home, waste that time, get distracted when I get home, and then leave again. So if you want to guarantee that you're going to make a ton of money in the next 18 days, if you listen to just that and you do it, it's going to be crazy what your result's going to be at the end of the push. Because that doubled my question. That's why I'm sharing it with you guys. Number two, stay in touch with people that are selling. So not people that are kind of selling or say they're gonna sell, or the talkers. Stay in touch with the people that are actually doing things, that are doers in your office. Number three, be aware of what motivates you. So just to share with you guys, some of the things that motivate me is that sometimes I'm driving, I'll call one of my past customers, check up on them. That conversation is always extremely motivating because they're enjoying the product that I sold to them. And that's something that I would recommend to you guys. It doesn't matter if you have 10 customers right now. If they already have the product, call them and check up on them and say, hey, have you cut yourself yet? Anything like that? Just say, I was just calling to check in. Hope you're enjoying your Cutco. You have how much is that? Or they say somebody came over to my house and saw my knives. I want to get like, why don't you go call them? So make sure that you form, sure that you allow people to hold you accountable, right? If you're gonna take this journey by yourself, you're definitely gonna sell less. But if you're the person that's calling the office, that's using your managers, you're gonna sell a lot more. No matter who it is, you need people, better than you. I figured I'd reiterate it because it's sometimes good to hear from someone that's been doing it for 15 years that this is still important to them. Make sure that this week, as you're preparing the push, that you have conversations with people. Because they just don't know any better and they weren't prepared for it. So whether it's like, boyfriend, girlfriend, parents, siblings, best friends, whatever it is, make sure you have that conversation with them, let them know. Make sure your blue book is prepared. Print out some of the standings from the office, from where you are in a list. There's nothing more powerful when I show my customers where I stand in the company. So whether it's in your office or anything like that, it's good to show them, like, this is where I'm at now, and this is where I can be. And it's very powerful. It comes from a place of abundance. The last thing is make sure that you have your attack prepared. Just to share with you guys, last night I went to bed at 4 o'clock in the morning, and this is what I did. I organized every single one of my pretty much hot leads right now, and based on counties, just so I can actually be organized. You may not have this exactly right now, but there is a way that you can organize yourself before you get on the phone, instead of just getting on the phone and shuffling papers. You don't want to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to literally go page by page and just do it. So whatever you can do, talk to your managers about getting organized, and so you have your list of people ready. It makes your phone calls less stressful, very enjoyable, and it just goes like a breeze. And my last thought is making 100 to 300 phone calls before the push starts, like next weekend, is kind of like a no-brainer. You have to do that. And the very, very last thought is don't wait to call your best people, regardless of how scared you are to call them. It took me a month to call one of my cousins because he was like a big snob, and I thought he would like basically be so uncomfortable and just the conversation would be weird and all that. He ended up being my first homemaker, bought and paid in full, and a year later bought an ultimate upgrade. Last bought a homemaker. I mean, he's bought over $8,000 from me at this point, and I waited. I wish I would have never waited to call him. So make sure that you call all your best prospects first. Anybody and everybody that you are in contact with that is in your life that you have a chance to connect with, call them. Don't be afraid.
Yeah. What would you say, and we can open it up for a couple questions, but what is your conversation with mom, loved ones, people that, like, if you walk through, I know.
My conversation.
Go ahead. Conversations with mom, with people, like when they're having problems.
So, my mom is very trained, but even every year, I have to actually prepare her. And the conversation usually goes like this. Hey, so I have this really big goal, and I want to, whatever it is, right? I want to sell $70,000 for the next 2 weeks, and I could really use your help. About you, really love helping you. They care about you, right? So it usually goes like this, and I open it up, and I could really use your help. Okay, well, what can I do to that? And there's nothing more powerful about having the people that care about you, like, support you. And, you know, if you see me slacking, just make sure that you support me. If I don't answer the phone, it's not because I don't love you, it's because I'm with a customer, or I'm trying to get a hold of a customer. You know, maybe you can text me more instead of, like, calling. If I'm not calling you right away, it's not because I don't love you, it's because I'm, like, trying to get to that goal. After hours, you know, after 9, 10 o'clock, we can communicate a lot more. Of course, if there's an emergency, just text me, emergency. Somebody's at the hospital. But if there's no emergency, like, just know that I'm gonna be working very hard and I'm gonna make you proud. So, like, some of the, depending on the relationship, right? But I think the biggest thing that happens, that opens up, is when you say, I need your help. And I think it's kind of cool. And, you know, of course, you want to tell them how excited you are about it, and, like, all the stuff you may win. Usually, I think that's a very important thing. It's like, hey, there's always this joke. It's like, where's my push week? Like, you know, the boyfriend, girlfriend, they always say, well, where's my push week? So just, like, make sure you say, hey, I'm going to be really, really working very, very hard. And I want us to celebrate at the end. Like, I want us to go to, like, a really nice dinner. You know that place we've been talking about going? Whatever it is, like, make sure that you create something, a reward for both of you to celebrate. So at this point, for example, for me, what I do is that I usually throw a 4th of July party before, and, like, my whole family comes, and we have a blast. So then they forget about me for the next 2 weeks, so it's great. But then after that, it's like my sister's birthday is actually the last day of the push, and it's like that every single year. So they always work around my schedule because I tell them, I'm like, all right, when are we celebrating your birthday this year? Me, and that's it, so whatever. No, it's like, hey, I know your birthday's coming up. When can we do it so I can still do this and we can celebrate? So that's, I think, is the key. Asking for help and also creating a vision and a reward for that. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. Other questions while we have them? We've got a couple more minutes before he has the call. We've got the Haitian Sensation, that is his nickname in the company. One of the best reps of all time, sitting in front of you on this big screen right now. Anybody else? Questions that you want to ask? Come closer. So he can hear you. Can you hear him?
No.
Is it this one right here? This one, yeah. Here, what's your morning routine?
This one.
This one?
Yeah.
You hear that?
That's a great question.
Woo! Yeah, and these guys, this is the group. This is the group we have for Alliance and stuff too. So incorporating those things with all the stuff that you do.
Okay, so my morning routine is that I wake up probably, like, I would say from 7:15 to 7:30. I do go to bed a little late because my strategy is to do everything that does not need to be done during the day at night. So if I have to answer the customers via email or things like that, I do that late. So wake up between 7:15 to 7:30. I eat something and usually make my bed, quick workout, and then I get on the Alliance call. I have Alliance myself. The goal is to sell over $40,000 each. So I run at Alliance from 8 a.m. to 8:45, and then after that, if I didn't get a chance to change and get ready, I'll do that. Usually, basically based on the way I wake up, I'm either going to get ready first or eat first, depends on how hungry I get in the morning. So either wake up, eat something, or wake up and shower. But regardless of what it is, when I get the Alliance, and then 8:45, I get ready and I get out of my house. I'll still leave my house because I want to be able to go closer to my appointment and be on complete work mode. I don't want to stay home where there's a distraction. So I'll drive somewhere until close to my next appointment and stay there and make coffee before I get in. That's a very good question.
Yeah, and by the way, this is, the CSPs, like he's been doing this for 15 years. Many of you guys, and we have a separate program for these guys. Like Andy and I were both with the Alliance. And so these are the babies, by the way, Andy. These aren't the CSPs here. These guys, we did for years. And then, they obviously read and do stuff on their own. But especially many of you that it's your first summer, some of you it's your second, are going to Great Things. What we do in the mornings with you guys is just absolutely freaking killer to help you guys in growth. And then as you advance in the business, we do have like FSM, like I was on those calls, FSM lead calls. You guys have done that and we're going, and sometimes they'll even be on like 7 a.m. appointments, but making sure we're helping you guys create the right habits. So obviously this is somebody who's at $3 million in sales and has done his share of his personal growth development. Which is really
I really need to be in an Alliance? If it would be real, probably not. Do I need it? But honestly, I do need it. There's no reason, there's no way I could sell as much as I sell during the push if I didn't have that energy from everybody else. It's like a no-brainer. Now, obviously, I'm at the point that I kind of run the Alliance, but until I started running the Alliance, I went to all my Alliances. It was one of my favorite things to do, to just wake up. It just forces you. It's awesome. We do it on the phone now, but it's because I have my people all across Florida. So what's really crazy is the energy that you feel once you show up and you have all those people around you. You feed off of their energy, like kind of what I talked about earlier. One of the things that's important is the people around you, right? Everybody that's gonna like have a power and influence you. And the Alliance is a big thing. I mean, that's why managers wake up to do it. They know what it can do for you. And even after 15 years, I'm still doing it. And by the way, we do all kinds of different personal growth stuff. I still do that. I have podcasts that I listen to. I even have a playlist in my car, and it has literally 2 songs that are like pump me up that I like, and then or a motivational speaker. And fitness motivation is what I listen to the most on Spotify. So, and I literally have that constantly feeding my brain with something positive, something strong, something that can constantly challenge. Fearless motivation. And there's like 15-minute you say?
You said they're 15-minute.
Yeah, they're like 15-minute motivational things about different things. And they talk about being number one. They talk about, breaking barriers. They talk about never giving up. They talk about all the different things.
Another question.
And it's not too long.
Yeah, it's quick. So I had a. I'm sorry. Okay. So I have a quick question. I'm good at upselling people, but the problem I've had is getting return orders. I think I remember Josh Mueller kind of talking about how you can firm up with the customer. Like if you're with a wife and the husband isn't there, and I got like a $4,000 order return on me, and that really made me upset because the husband wasn't there, and I guess I didn't build enough value for her to defend to keep
What's
it.
your question?
So my question is, how would you firm up with them to prevent that from happening?
That's a very good question, and I'm gonna answer this the most honest way possible. You cannot exactly predict what's going to happen. Sometimes you have to take a chance on closing that order anyway. One of the things that I do is give them enough for free to make them feel really, really good about it. Some other times I've actually gone back to the house and if I told them I was gonna give them free stuff, went back to the house and an order like this size, it's worth going back to the house and just maybe helping them set up the knives and that way it gives you a chance.
Well, they just called the company and they didn't even tell me, and then all of a sudden negative 4,000 on my report, and I'm like, what happened,
So, so it's good. The reason I asked is because it's important for you to tell your customers, hey, if you have any questions, you need anything, call me. I want to be able to be there for you, especially for customers that are buying a lot, right? Because that way it gives you a chance to say, hey, I totally understand. How about if I come back and show it to him? Before you guys cancel it, let me give a chance to show it to him. And then, maybe he'll get less or whatever, and that gives you a chance to do that. Any questions, have anything that you can call and do. By the way, if you haven't called this customer, it's funny because I actually wrote it down. If there are people that cancel orders, anyone in the room right now, you should still call them because maybe things calm down now, maybe they thought about it, they would consider getting it again or consider getting something different. Don't be afraid to follow up because obviously if the person spent that money, they definitely liked it, right? So there's like an external force that maybe right now is handled and that you could actually get something back from it. So 2 things. Number 1, make sure the customer believes and understands that you can help them. So they reach out to you and you have the chance to fix it. And number 2, if it already happened, make sure that you still call and follow up because you never know what could happen. So at this point of the game. And just one last thought for you. This might be a little bit advanced, but I'll still tell you. I had a customer order a signature and something else. It was like a $3,000 order from me, and she canceled it too. And I was, this is not my only canceled order. But the reason I'm telling you this is because I've recently started doing this, where I actually gave that person a knife because I wanted them to feel how awesome Cutco was. So if you have an extra table knife, or you can get your hands on a trimmer or something, an extra knife with a double D edge, bring it to them, let them use it. And that customer, after 3 weeks, she called me and she said, my husband and I fight over this knife. We're gonna buy the set again. So.
Thank you, that really helps.
Awesome. Last question, Mason, go.
You're welcome.
All right. I was wondering if you had any tips on how to like minimize reschedules and cancels, and like how to firm up of those like after the initial phone call.
Okay.
We'll dive into that.
You guys probably know a lot of those things.
Yeah, but any Andy specials, and then we're gonna go over that in a little bit too.
Okay. Okay, so can I go now?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I think the biggest thing for me with a customer is really to have a 2-minute conversation with them after I schedule the appointment. It's something that I started doing a long time ago, and honestly, I can count on fingers how many times I've canceled appointments now. But what I do is that after I schedule the appointment, it's firmed up already. You know, some of us, we tell them to put a penny in front of their fridge, write down our confirmation number, and all of that stuff, right? But what really comes from me is that after I firm up the appointment, for example, if I hear a noise in their house, whether it's kids or animals or whatever, I always ask them like, do you have kids? Or is this like a dog? Or if like they were yelling at something, whatever it was, I kind of try to bring that connection at that point. Because at that point, you change the way they think about you. You didn't just come and get your appointment and go. You're like a normal human being, and they love that. So I always, maybe you have information from them, from the person that referred you to them. They told you that they were a nurse, or they told you that they did this. And you can kind of engage on a like 2-minute conversation with them after you firm up the appointment. It does wonders because now they connected with you. It's 10 times harder for them to either forget you or to cancel on you without letting you know and without wanting to reschedule. So that's the thing that I've done that I would say is the Andy nugget, is the conversation that happens after you firm up that is way beyond just like a confirmation number. It's like a real conversation with somebody. Does that answer your question?
Sure does.
Yes. Well, Andy, I know you have another call right now in like 2 minutes. So I want to thank you so much. Love you. I miss you. But we thank you for taking time for us. Yeah, I'm like hiding down here. But thank you for taking time for us as we're getting ready to crush it. Excited to see you dominate and go after your 70K push. And we will be talking soon, and I can't wait to see you in California in like 5 weeks. Yay! Anyway, I love you. See you.
I love you too.
All right, awesome. Did you guys get some good stuff, by the way?
Yeah.
Real quick, raise your hand. Biggest takeaways that you guys took from that talk. Ready, set, go. Raise your hand, say your name, go, so everybody can hear you. Go.
Okay, well, double tap the calls.
Yep, cool. Next, who else? Lee.
Lee, Hans, Orion the second. Set the tone at the beginning of the demo. Making sure the energy is always there.
Okay, cool. Who else?
Tristan, closing with options.
All right, closing with options. We'll go through that. So instead of a yes or no, it's a yes or yes is where you always want to be. All right, go for it.
Show them all the options. You will never play.
All right, cool. So Jacob, all right, go ahead.
Take control of your wish list. You do the writing, talk about something that doesn't really make sense.
Okay, so you do it. Go ahead, Matt.
Matt, I won't keep you long.
All right, won't keep you long right in the beginning. Right? Lindsay, presenting the Cutco Kitchen. All right.
Victoria, creating
All right, creating special. Jay.
Ask for permission to show one.
Ask for permission to show more. Okay.
when you show the kitchen, like you can swing it, like it's the best stuff.
Yeah, by the way, that is huge. I like stopped to say that. But if you didn't catch that, when you go through the kitchen and he says, by the way, if you can swing it, this is the best value. Cool? Not enough people end up adding up towards that. But planning that, if you can swing it, this is the best value. All right? Put a plate on the All right, but anyway, they never turned the plate, by the way. Say your first name, by the way. Sorry.
Drive further, follow the good leads.
All right. Drive further. Yes. Follow the good leads.
Tilly, don't take first yes, final answer.
Oh, by the way, my goal is once they say yes to whatever set, is to never leave without 3 no's. That's something we learned long ago. Like, let's see how high we can take this thing, all right? Because the average person, it's 4 or 5 attempts to get to that sale. Like, the average person says yes on the 4th or 5th attempt. I don't know if you guys know that. So once we find the set, now it's about finding the best deal, the best value, and walking through to see what home during the push. By the way, that was something that we were so hardcore about. I remember when I was pushing back in the day, him and I competed all the time. Use their Wi-Fi, but making calls, finding somewhere close. If I leave a demo at 8:30 at night or 8:45 at night, and I don't have another one, like I always work till at least 9:30. If I had a night demo, even better. But I would not drive home to then make calls because I know my prime time where I reach the most people is 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. So I would go drive into a McDonald's parking lot, somewhere that's well lit, you know, and sit there and crank out 20 calls and then go home. Cool? So just developing those push champion habits, that's huge. But it's like you get dressed in the morning and you're out ready for work for the day. Because your goal, I've seen people come to Alliance in their pajamas, and they're like, I gotta go home and get ready. You're killing your day. You didn't even come ready to work. You're not even gonna try to get an immediate demo because you're not ready, right? You gotta go shower and get ready. So you need to leave your house ready to go, ready to conquer the day. Because if you don't have an immediate, your goal is to get an immediate, you know? When you're on the phone, hey, I can come over right now, you know, and go right over there, all right? So that's really huge. Any other takeaways you guys have here? All right, communication with people who matter. That's a huge, huge thing, by the way, is making sure you guys take time to talk to mom, take time to talk to boyfriends and girlfriends. This is something that you've got to prep them. They've got to know what's happening. If not, you're going to get over and over and over again questions and ask about, like, how about that? Well, why aren't you home? Why aren't you, like, do you want to make sure they know ahead of time? Hey, mom, next week, this is coming up. It's the Super Bowl. I want to go for a big goal. And I love how I said, hey, I could really use your help. And asking them, you know, like, I could really use your help. So they're like, honey, how can I help you? What was the answer? I need your support, all right? And keeping that motivation going, that when you're talking to them and they say, like, oh, what's up? Like, making sure they know, like, to keep you going. So he said, you know, be supportive and push me, right? So if you see me slacking, if you see me unhappy, like, hey, I thought you had a big goal. I thought you had something you want to go after. I remember asking all my roommates to do that for me when I was in Cutco my first summer. There was like 6 of us that lived together in this house. And I was like, dude, if you guys see me, you see me home for any reason, 1, I shouldn't even be home. 2, you see me like, dude, I thought you had a big goal. And I'll be like, shh, okay, let's go. You know, and I'll keep moving. But asking the people you care about, like my girlfriends, my friends that aren't even in Cutco, and some of my friends who don't even know Cutco, when it was push, I was like, it's push. If you see me doing this, say, why aren't you pushing? You know, my goal is to sell 30,000. How are you towards your goal? They didn't know what the hell they were talking about, but like, why aren't you pushing? Like, shit, you don't even know what that means. You know, but, you know, during the push, I was like, gosh darn it, I gotta go, you know. But you get those circles around you to keep you on your game. And that's also the power of this and being part of a bigger alliance, and especially when you're newer, to keep yourself going, to keep yourself motivated, pump each other up as we go through this process together. It's gonna be awesome. All right, so I want to walk you guys through kind of like the rest of what's happening. I know we've got in 25 minutes, and I want a time between Andy and James rushing. He's going to go through prospecting and leads. I wanted to go through breaking down some goals real quick. I actually asked Kamani, and we'll see if Kamani will go before or after, if he could share. Because one of the big things that needs to happen is we've got to put the list together, right? We've got to put your attack list together. And I've heard some people like, I don't have this many people, are not that. Who here, when you first started, you were really bad at asking for reps? Raise your hand. I was. All right, and then I learned quickly, and I became one of the best and got one of the highest averages in my office. That was the same thing that happened with Zyla. I saw it happen with Billy this fast push, and just totally switched and you got it down. The results completely changed, okay? But what he mentioned, one of the keys he gave, going back, Randy gave earlier, calling back your first people to get more recommendations, going by there. At one point I lost my rec finder after a branch, like my parents moved, and it was gone. I found it years later and I still have them all. But I was like, what the heck? Like my whole business was lost from Miami because I was away, 4 hours away running my branch office. And I had no leads when I got back home. And then another time, something else had happened, and I was like, crap, I've got to go back to my first summer. So if right now I took all your leads and just burned them, they were gone, what would you do? Would you quit and find another job? This is where I was at. Or would you find a way to make it happen? And I was like, no, there's too much here. What do I need to do? I need to go back to the people that helped me before, go see them, offer them some free Gutco for helping me out again. So I did that. And I got leads from those people. I did different things. And I want to actually, come on, you can share some stuff right now. Kamani, by the way, moved here. We're roommates right now. Lives in my house, but moved here to Houston and said, I want to start a new base here. So I was like, dude, do virtual, back home, do whatever, and started from scratch. This is someone who's made it happen 2 years in a row. From last year, going from starting off slower, taking SC1, absolutely crushing the heck out of the summer, $69,000 summer over in Beaumont, and then coming this summer, he's like, I want to build a base here. And I was like, so, hey, drive back to Beaumont for the push. He's like, no, I want to just, and he just said, I'm going to start from scratch. So I'd love for him to share, because he just had a 10K push for SC1 from scratch, built a base down here that he has now. And I know he's going to crush the second half of the summer. But I asked him if he could just give some keys of exactly what he did so you guys can implement that. Even if you're not starting a new city, you can use some of the stuff he did to build a great base and build a great push. Because we've got this week to build momentum before the push starts. So come on, the floor is yours.
How are you guys doing? I know I talked to some of you guys yesterday.
Come on, could you actually stand over here just so I can get your, I don't want to just record your butt the whole time. And there we go. Yeah.
So I remember I talked to some of you guys yesterday about the same thing, about getting leads. What you said was true. I wanted to stay in Houston. I'm a name in the Sugarland office, and so I wanted to get leads out here. They want to be driving back to Beaumont every time I wanted to do a demo. And so basically this is how it started. I talked to Spencer. Spencer's one of the main guys that helped me out with that. I didn't know what I was going to do. And he said, hey, just go to Facebook. Start messaging people on Facebook. And so I took it pretty seriously. And so literally every single person, pretty much every single person in my Facebook, I messaged them all and asked them, do you know anybody in Sugarland? Or like, hey, can I get your mom's number? And even if they weren't in the Houston area, I was still doing virtual, so I didn't have to drive back. And so, got income flowing through that. And then this one guy gave me 2 people. And neither of them were either in Sugarland. One was in Spring, the other one was in Clear Lake in that area. And so I went to the appointment for the guy in Spring. It was an hour and 30-minute drive with traffic and all that. So I was really hoping that they actually showed up. And so I get there, it was a small order, $300. So 10K. So really, it was just persistence. Having a positive mental attitude. That's definitely a hard thing, to stay positive during that whole time. Not having anybody to call, not having any demos. And so if you guys have heard of something called the law of attraction, what it is this. Whenever you think about something and you really think that you can do it, your brain starts coming up with ways for you to be able to solve that problem and to get to where you want to get. And so that was the main thing. I had to get the negative mentality out. I had to think I can do this. I just have to figure out a way out. And so with brainstorming and trying to think of different options I had, different things I could do, it ended up working for me. And then I took advantage of it. When I started getting the leads from people, I started really mastering recs. Before when I was working in Beaumont, that was probably my weakest thing. I'd be lucky if I could get 10 from somebody. I was averaging maybe about 5 to 7 from each person. And so believe it or not, I actually have more Houston leads than I have Beaumont leads. Only been out here for a month and a half. I got close to 500 Houston leads. I probably have maybe 50 left in Beaumont. So crazy, right? The thing is, I just master recs, building rapport, and then my approach and everything, just being more confident with it and pay it off. And so now I get at least 10. So it's like 10, 20, 30. The lady like 2 weeks ago gave me 60. So that's just how it's been going from then on.
Yeah, but that was a big thing we noticed with him, and I didn't even know from last summer, because last summer he didn't build the business how he needed to. He made by, and he had enough people, and he did enough. And you'd look at from the outside, you're like, he was number 7 in the nation, 69, but there was a foundation missing with his recommendations that when he came this summer, I was like, whoa. He's like, oh yeah, I don't really. I'm like, how do you not have, how the hell did you sell that much and see that many people, and how do you not have thousands of recommendations to see? And he just wasn't, he didn't nail his approach. So he was still getting a couple people each time. And so, you know, it always grows. I mean, think about it, right? If you get 2 or 3 each time, you're always like at least replacing your business. So if you did 10 demos and you have 20 to 30 new recs, you always have people to see, but not at the level. Like you should be getting 20 to 30 recs from each person. Like that's what you should be getting, you know, unless they just didn't like you, you know, like you should be getting 20 to 30 per person. But that takes you having your stuff down. And so I'd say, like, what did you do in terms of with recs this year? What were the things that you feel help move the needle with recommendations to help you crushing your recs now? What were the differences?
First thing was probably rapport. It was really hard for me to connect with the person I was talking to. You know, I get there and I see, you know, how are you doing? Shake their hand and all that. And so I said, okay, well, let's go ahead and start. And so the main way I was, you know, getting sales is just from, you know, I had a pretty solid demo, but the thing was it wasn't helping me with recs, and I'm pretty sure my sales could have been better if I actually built rapport and make the person like me, because they buy from people that they like. And so just, you know, from getting advice from Kathy, Spencer, Phil, and other people just on how to build better rapport, ask better questions. You know, I started connecting with Ms. Jones better, asking her, you know, how long she been in the neighborhood, what were some of her hobbies, what she liked to do, what are her kids in. And so that, you know, helps the person to, I guess, put their guard down and to like you more. And then at the end, as long as you have confidence with your approach, they shouldn't have a problem getting you 10, 20 people. So that was the main thing, really.
Cool. So any questions for him? So again, built from scratch, any things that you guys are like, how do you handle this or that you guys want to ask Kamani right now?
How long did it take you to really get down your approach and ask for recommendations?
I'll be honest, like I didn't really get it down like to where I had a whole lot of confidence with it until this summer. Like last summer, you know, like she said, I was just getting by. You know, I knew the approach, but the thing was I was just saying it. I didn't really have anything behind it. But now whenever I do my approach, you know, I make sure I stress the most important things. So.
Are you saying to memorize the bullets? Because memorizing the bullets takes 15 minutes.
Yeah. Definitely properly, like, you know, like having a thing down, knowing your, I guess, or your the script you have.
How long does it take? 30, 45 minutes, do you think? How long does it? It's a decision. It's more of you saying, like, I'm going to actually do it properly. And it's whenever that clicks for you that, like, oh, yeah, I'm actually not following it. Or even Billy, and you can share, he's like, I'm doing it. And I'm like, your delivery sucks and you weren't. Like, so you can share real quick from you. I work a lot with my guys on this. This was my bread and butter when I was new. I was the queen of recommendations. I wasn't amazing at closing initially, and I became damn good at it. But I always had tons of people to see, because my first week, that was the thing I was most scared of, because I came from lower income. And my family didn't have houses. I couldn't even see them. I was like, how am I going to, I only know some people that have houses, people I play volleyball to from church. But then how about when I run out of people? And that was what I was most scared of. So that's something that I like mastered immediately, because I didn't want to run out of people. And my friend told me, if you get this down, you will never run out of people. It's impossible to run out of people. Your business should actually multiply exponentially if you do it properly, Kat. And I was like, okay, cool. You know, that was something that I got down. But Billy, go ahead.
So Kathy one day she pulled me into the office and was like, Billy, there's something wrong. Like, why are you not selling what you need to be selling? Why are you not getting enough recs? And I was like, I don't know. I think I'm doing everything. She's like, bring me your rec approach. Shit, like, just fell apart. Had no idea what to do it or what to do. She made me nervous, and I was explaining that. And she goes, pull out your manual, read me your rec approach. And so I read it. Like, I stumbled over where restart. Read it, restart. Read it, restart. Like 10, 15 times. And then she goes, read it one more time. I didn't look down, read it ever, and left there, went to a demo, got 31 minutes. It took 10, 15 minutes. It was all just actually like taking the time to really focus on it and really push myself and have her, like, have someone hold you accountable. She held me accountable. She wanted to make sure I was doing what I was supposed to do.
And by the way, that's why when we came in earlier, those who were here in the morning, I'm like, go through, do it. They're like, oh, why are we doing this? Because you need to get good at it. Because that is the gas to your car. Because if you don't have that down, you don't have a business, all right? It's going to be very frustrating to have the push. But when you have so many freaking people, so many amazing people to see, it makes it pretty easy to go after a big push, by the way, all right? So really important, a couple of things that we want to make sure that we do. So any other things, Kamani? Any other questions real quick?
How do you make sure that you're always,
reading a lot, during my second semester of school, started reading different books like by Dale Carnegie, Frank Becker, and like the different tips that I saw in those different books. I feel like they definitely help you grow personally, become a better person. And plus, with that, you also become better at other things that you work at. So I would say that definitely played a role in it, reading and just making sure that I was always feeding something into my brain. Also listening to sales podcasts and things like that, like on YouTube. They have this guy named Victor Antonio. They have some pretty good stuff on YouTube. If you look him up, he has like different tips, for like different objections that you might get, etc. It's really like a wide spectrum of stuff. So I would say look him up.
Yeah, and I think it'd be cool too in the group me if you listen to a cool podcast or something, share the link in the group. Cool. So that way, if someone has something, or maybe you had to reschedule, you made your 20 calls, maybe then you listen to that podcast, or while you're driving, you listen to something. And I think about having that discipline to always be learning, always be growing, and how that serves you long term. It's amazing. All right. Any other last questions? I want to last two. Boom, boom, go.
Do you ever have like customers that are like they're real hard to build rapport with?
Want me to go ahead and jump into it, and so don't really give me a chance to build rapport. And so what I'll do is I'll just kind of throw my goals, like didn't want to talk or anything. I can't even make her smile like at the beginning talking to her, and so I just kept making jokes. That's one thing. Talking to Spencer, he's like the king of corny jokes, and so he gave me just a whole bunch of different jokes that I could say to her. Like the one with the spatula spreader, be sharp, and so that made her laugh. And so
if you don't know it, you just like make a little noise with it, and you're like, "Do you know what note that is?" And they're like, "No," and like it's a be sharp because Cutco will always be sharp.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so,
they love it. Moms love it. They're like, "You're so cute,"
yeah.
Or they're like. You're like, yeah, that just happened. All right.
So it was just like corny jokes like that. And so eventually, she kind of softened up and she ended up buying a signature. So that was cool. Dan.
Okay. Do you have your customers pre-text direct?
Yeah.
Okay. Then how do you go about that approach with them, and what's in your message?
I could just send you the message, but what I do is, water right now.
By the way, if you're not in the, we're going to use the same from SC1. We're going to be deleting and adding people to that. But right now it's called GCK Leaders. If you're not in the GCK Leaders, in a moment, I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes to talk in your little group. Have someone add you. Cool? Have someone add you to it that's in that group. So you're in there because that's where we're going to be posting a lot of stuff. So, and you can post it there, the message. But go ahead.
Okay. Water right now, Rex. They'll probably say something like,
I would listen to this. This is good for you.
Yeah, they'll probably say, I don't know if I should put this person. I don't think they'd be interested. And I'll tell them, to be honest, you have to think in if people are interested. Literally just, we can write anybody down. And what I'll do is I'll send you a text. And that way you can send it to them to let them know I'll be contacting them, tell them a little about me, what I'm doing. And so I'll probably call them maybe sometime tonight or maybe tomorrow morning. And so what you can do is after you send out this text to them, if any of them respond negatively and say, I don't want to be contacted, you can just send me a text and let me know. And I'll cross them off the list. And that hasn't happened at all. Like no one's ever said, hey, don't call this person, don't call this person. And so all the people know, and that's how you get demos. It makes it easier, definitely.
Cool. All right. Thank you so much. And this right now, I want, and by the way, staff leaders in the group, we can go around real quick. And in your tables, if you guys can share, what do you feel is right now? What do you feel is the number one thing holding you back from getting 20 plus recommendations every time. I want to go around so then your leaders can also give you guys some tips or keys there locally before we move on. Cool? So let's roll. Get in your teams. Thank you. Give Kamani a round of applause. Thank you, Kamani. All right, leaders, if you guys can lead that in your table, what is the number one thing keeping you back from getting 20 or more recs each time?
My computer just died.
Yo, can I have one person from each table come over here real quick to grab? By the way, I got you guys all to start your personal. Yo, listen. To start your journey, I got everyone a book from John Groman for everybody. And yeah, here, grab for your table. Hey, by the way, those of you up here, can you also take this to your tables?
Oh, I got 4. Those are mine. No, and then there were
By the way, my office, don't take a book. I left the other box at the office. So real. You guys can give your book to someone else, and then at the office. Does everyone have 10 keys to 10K? And a contract. Here. Hey guys, is anybody else missing this yellow sheet? Anybody else missing this? All right, cool. Yeah, 1 minute, 1 minute. All right. Yo, let's roll. You guys keep moving. Hey guys. We'll have more time. We're on a clock. James is going to be Skyping in here a couple minutes, and I want to walk through so we can skip and move. So he's going to share some keys on getting the leads that you want. And then I'm going to give you guys, we've got some stuff up here that some of you guys already have and some of you guys don't have. But I want to go through, after he goes through, we'll go through some quick things, give you guys stuff with getting more demos and phones. I want to literally take 5-10 minutes max on that. We've covered this already. It's a quick review. I want to make sure everyone has papers so you have them in your binder properly. I've got page protectors so you can put those things in your binder and have them there. I have for you guys, everyone should have, did you guys all get an SC2 Alliance contract? So everyone should, so we'll pass those. Everyone, if your table doesn't have it, one person can come grab it in a moment, not yet. But just so you guys know, everyone right now at the table should have had a schedule, which we're going to walk through right after James speaks. Demo tracking, you should have 10 keys to 10K, and you should have an Alliance contract. Cool? Those are the 4 papers that everybody should have right now that were passed around during this time or from your leaders. Hey guys, I need everybody right here. Go grab them, yeah. Let me walk you guys through everything, and then one person can grab what's missing. Then, so you guys know what's up here. We're going to go over my kitchen close. Cool? For anyone who wants to know how to close the kitchen, we're going to walk through and role play that. If you don't have this, there's a sheet here, bonus points. All right, and utilizing your bonus points properly and free stuff. So that's something you can grab if you need it, if you don't have it. This right here, I use like crazy. This is deposits. So I cannot, when I close, I have this in a page protector. I have the Cutco kitchen comparison, which I have printed out for you guys. Where is it? Somewhere here. So I've got Cutco kitchen comparison, all right, and I have this in the back of this. This was in a page protector. So when I compare the kitchen or I'm closing, this is what I pull out in a page protector from the back of my book for them to compare from Williams-Sonoma, all right? And then on the back of it, I had the deposits on there. So when I was closing stuff or looking at deposits, it was all right there, all right? So this right here should be in a page protector together. Some of you already have this from SC1. Some of you guys do not. So I printed out some extra ones so you can get one. You can have one of these. So these are up here, and I'll put page protectors as well. So I'll have this so you guys can put that into your book. Sounds good? You're welcome. Those who didn't get a book, the other box, I didn't realize did not make it in here. That is at my office. So my guys, you'll get them there, and whoever else was missing a book, if you come by the part this week, you can grab it. If not, I will bring them next Monday back here when we have the kickoff on the 17th. All right? So I do want to get you guys all that. If anyone's missing a Cutco cookware price list, I have cookware price list up here. All right, I have how to explain the cookware. Now, guys, some of you started grabbing. So it just kind of ruins stuff, so you need to know what you're taking. So with the cookware, it's 2 pages. It was supposed to be stapled, or it was supposed to be dual-sided, but the smartest people are not working there. So that's okay. I just want to make sure you guys know If you're grabbing cookware approach, it is how many pages? 2 pages, all right? Flatware approach, how to explain flatware, is how many pages? 1. So flatware is 1, cookware is 2, so we'll grab these. What else do we have over here? We have phone. We're going to pass it to the phone stuff, but I printed out in my office. Some of them have it because they had to pass their phone skills. But I have Kathy's phone approach from when I was a rep and in pushes, which is freaking money. And if you follow it and use it, you will book a lot of demos when you want them. You will kick butt. It is awesome. So I got this for everyone, and we're going to role play this in your group so you guys have that. I have here for you guys a sample of, again, Philippe's, what his family put up, the getting Facebook posts, because obviously you want to get more demos. So making sure we have more demos. If you're lacking a firm up, so I'll have this in order so you have like all the phone stuff. So this is to get you more appointments. You've got Memory Jogger to help you with your attack list. We've got a paper to help you with your attack list. So you'll be able to grab those when I get your guys' email. And this right here. So that's all for getting more appointments. You've got vector phone tips, and I'll walk through some of those. Building urgency and firm up. Now, something I printed out, it says PR calling tracking. This right here is something that is an easy thing for you to use when you're having big call days, and it works the same way, but just like having a countdown. So if you're going to sit down in the morning and you're like, okay, I'm going to rock 40 calls, you can go through here and make a mark every time that you're booking a demo, all right? So you guys have different sections, just track your calls for the day throughout the week, and make sure that you're, again, committed to that activity of making those calls every day. So we have these sheets that you guys can utilize. Again, closing stuff, you've got phone stuff, you've got stuff for getting more appointments, we've got cookware and flatware, we've got cookware price list, and then I'm going to break down goals with you guys after we have Mr. Rushing speak to us. Can you let me get back on here? So James is going to talk now. James, he had asked if he could share some keys, and again, somebody who's amazing with prospecting, so I wanted him to be able to share tips or keys that have helped him when working with customers and getting the top clientele base. It's over here.
Unlocked it because it doesn't work anymore.
Huh?
I think you like changed it so it doesn't work.
Okay. Yay. So you guys want to be ready to take some notes real quick, and then we got to keep moving. All right, so we can make sure you guys are ready to kick some butt and implement some stuff this week. And James is our #1 student in our division in scholarships. No one has won more scholarships, had bigger push periods. Hopefully, he's going to talk to you guys. Maybe not. Just kidding. Give him a call. By the way, team leaders from each, if you guys didn't get an Alliance contract, 10 keys to 10K, demo tracking, if there's anything missing from your tables, you can come grab those for your people, all right? We have them there? James, we can't see you. James. There you are. All right, cool.
Represent.
So these are the 4 things that everyone should have. These 4. We're not doing this yet. But I want to make sure you guys have this. All right, James. Sorry, we're grabbing some papers here real quick. Some of you guys are missing stuff. So let me see. Put you a little bit louder. All right. So as I was waiting for you, I already talked about you. But James, again, perennial champion in our business, in our division, one of the top performers year in, year out. James is also someone I've grown a personal relationship with, great friend, and someone I'm excited to have as we build our division. So you guys take some notes. I'm going to pass it over to you, James. We're on a tight schedule, so let's rock and roll. I know you are as well, all right? So you guys should know a lot of that already. All right.
And sorry I'm not a little bit better dressed. I really don't like to talk about who our customers are, but I think it's probably fair to just kind of lead in with like the stuff that I'm going to teach you is literally got me into the heart of Memorial, River Oaks, was able to help me Reed Ryan, the president of the Astros, Nolan Son, just people like that. And so I think like I learned this from a guy named Tyler Park. And so it's coming from the best of the residential reps in the, probably arguably in the company's history. And so I think just like we want to sell to. So the first thing that I would say is rhetorical question here, but like, what does your dream client look like, right? Who are they? Where do their kids go to school? What do they do for a career? Do they love to cook, love to entertain, things like that, right? And so law of attraction, if you know that you want to meet somebody who loves to cook, has 2 or 4 kids, and all of their kids go to private school and they're a doctor, a lawyer, or whatever like that, right? Well, then it's pretty easy to start asking for those types of referrals. But you have to know what you want, right? And so I would definitely encourage you, after the conference to think about that. Like, if you could see a certain type of customer on every single appointment, what would that look like, right? And so think about where the affluent people in your circles, your neighborhood, your circles of influence, where do they hang out, right? Because the fact of the matter is people hang out with people that are similar to themselves. So they often hang out, in the same circles, same little leagues, junior leagues, things like that, right? So, spend some time thinking about who your best customers are and if they have any common threads that you can kind of like pick out of that. Then on the appointment, one thing that, somebody else might have taught this already, but one thing that I would strongly urge you to do is if you have under 50 customers, you need to print all of your customers. And when you're talking about any like award that you've already won, or like right before you talk about like goals you're working on right now, you should have a list of people. And I don't have my binder, but I'm gonna kind of just pull up some referral sheets and roll with it. But if we can bear with me with a little bit of creativity, let's just say that this was like an award that I had already won. And like, so Mrs. Jones, this was actually my scholarship in the fall of, or spring of 17. These are a list of people here that have actually been helping me. And if this is my blue book, you've got like Memorial, River Oaks, Bel Air, Westview here. And you've got like 5 to 10 names in each column that are like the wealthiest people in all of Houston. I'll be like, so these are people that were helping me. By the way, Mrs. Jones, who do you know on this list, right? And so like, Joanna is one of the family that married into the Texans owners, right? So she could be like, yeah, I know Brad, like we all know the Marks, Julians, whatever. And then I could be like, oh, cool. Do you know, Robin, Jim, and Repass, right? And then they say yes or they say no, and all of a sudden you're like, cool, how do you know them? Well, what I'm paying attention to is how everybody knows each other through that customer list. She'll be like, oh yeah, I play tennis at this tennis club with her. Or, oh yeah, our kids go to this school. And then I could point to somebody else who's like pretty well off and say, hey, do you know them? They also go to that school. And then you could tie that in when you get referrals later. You could say, yeah, by the way, I'm going to give you all a huge line right here, right? So you go, past award that I've won. These are the people that have helped me. Who do you know off this list? And by the way, do you mind if I share my goals that I'm currently working on, right? Which I know today y'all are learning on how to share your goals. One thing that I would add to that, and here's the key line, is my biggest goal isn't actually that you buy a bunch of Cutco to help me with my goal. It's just that you referred me to a couple more people, just like Susie did. Is that okay? Or like sound good? You guys, check this out. My biggest goal today, so it'd be like, Cody, my biggest goal isn't that you actually buy a bunch of Cutco to help me out today. It's actually just that you introduce me to a couple more people, just like Kathy did. Sound good? You nod your head, right? Positive expectation. So what you've done is you take that sheet, see who all they know, build more rapport that you know their friends, right? Working through there. You guys, if you have a bunch of customers, just print the highlights. Or like print all your customers and highlight like the people that bought the big sets, that are affluent, whose kids go to, you know, wherever you want to meet more people of, and then just kind of keep going on that. And then, so again, Cody, as crazy as it sounds, my biggest goal isn't that you buy a bunch of Cutco to help me with my goals. It's actually that you introduce me to a couple more people, just like Kathy. But we'll do that at the end. Sound good? And then you start your demo. The actual, like, I go to features and benefits right after that. So what did we do to kind of get those clients? One, you know, when you find the networks that you want to get into, get those phone books, right? Because the thing is, like, you don't necessarily want to cold call those type of customers, but it's really helpful to know whose kids go to which schools, who hangs out at which country clubs, who knows each other through junior league. There's something called YPO. Raise your hand if you've ever heard of YPO before. Anybody heard of YPO? Okay, I see one hand. Very few people have even heard of it. It stands for Young Presidents Organization. So it's like your young presidents and CEOs of companies. So, somebody give me another idea of where affluent people can hang out at. Might not work with the Skype video, but you know, one of the things that I learned early on was find a really nice house. Another thing, write this down, guys. White pages. This is kind of crazy, but like you can reverse address search. So if you find a really nice house and you're doing a demo right next to it, figure out who lives there before your appointment. You just ask, like, hey, by the way, I was driving around. Do you know the XYZ? You know, do you know the Joneses? When you're asking for referrals, right? Like, have really cool thoughts on it. It sounds a little bit ridiculous, but like I actually literally have like an upgraded thought joggers list, which some of y'all might have, right? Like here's your standard, like loves to cook, entertains a lot, knows everybody, dual knives, bought a new house. But like, check out what this goes to, right? Like, who has the nicest kitchen? Viking, Wolf, and Sub-Zero, guys. These are like $10, $15, $20, $30,000 stoves and fridges. Like that's this right here, the country clubs, the private schools. Some of these are ways of asking who do you know that has money without asking who do you know that has money, right? Who owns a boat? Like that's discretionary money. For me, before I took a career position with Cutco, I wanted to start an oil and gas company, right? Well, if you run an oil and gas company, there's a pretty good chance that you have a fair amount of money. So what I did was I'd ask for referrals, they'd write down whoever, and then at the end I'd say, hey, by the way, I want to run an energy company. Who do you know that's in oil and gas? You know, if you want to be a doctor or a lawyer, do the same thing, right? And that's also rapport building because people want to help you. So you could say and be genuine. If you love to travel, hey, Mrs. Jones, I love to travel. Like, who do you know that also loves to travel? Mrs. Jones, I love to travel. Who's your friend that's traveled the most? I'd love to learn from them. Right? And it's casual, it's true, and it takes money to travel. So the last thing that I'm going to say when it comes to like knowing your customers or like your prime prospects, I'm not going to get into all this because everybody sells in a different area, but I'm just going to kind of show you like we all have our standard thought jogger questions. This sheet here, right? Like that's standard. But if you really, really, really want to meet the top of the top, you can do something like go and make a sheet of people that you want to meet. So for me, what I did when I was in college at A&M was there's Memorial. There's everybody that owns an oil and gas company with a full list of people. Here's everybody that's in investments. And guys, here's what's crazy. Like, I don't say this to brag, but just to show you it works. Do you see how many check marks are on each one of these lists? This is the most affluent people in each part of the city, and I've met probably a third of each of them, right? Here's a list of the owners of the Astros and the Texans. Look how many red circles and checks there are off of that list. For this, figure out the parts of town you want to sell in, and then figure out the street names in there, right? When I'm in Memorial or I'm in one of these areas, you better believe I'm going to ask, hey, who else do you know that's on this or that? Here's College Station, right? I went and sold in my college town a little bit. Not a ton, but I remade the whole list. River Oaks, right? Oil and gas, finance, and other people that I want to meet that don't even really fit into there. Normally successful business owners are pretty well off. A lot of successful business owners went to the best business schools. I literally have, who do you know that's a grad of these top business schools, right? Again, who do you know that's involved with charity? It takes resources to donate to charity. Who do you know that runs their own company? Who do you know that's famous? I love this one. If Mrs. Jones has her credit card memorized and doesn't even pull it out, she'll be like, oh my God, Mrs. Jones, who else do you know that has their credit card memorized? They spend a lot of money, right? Think of like the casual things. For me, I love to hunt. Guns are expensive. Who else do you know that owns a lot of guns? The best part here is like, you can ask like, who has money without literally saying like, who are your richest friends, right? But you have to understand like who they are, where they hang out, like who they know within their circles. And there's kind of an art, but like you have to know, you have to be one of them. You have to be able to talk about their friends, know where their kids go to school, what their husband or wife does. And when you build that trust, then you're going to get more of those referrals, right? And so I think it really, really, really comes down to like knowing who your ideal customer is and who you want to meet. Know those areas, know those social networks, know the schools, get the directories so you can see like who goes where. Some of them are a little bit older, but like I have probably 4 or 5 of the 6 top private schools in Houston, right? Like I know where all the well-known people's kids go to school. Build a rapport through your customers list, because if it's quite clear that you've already like seen all those type of people, they're going to give you those type of referrals. Plant the seed so that they're already expecting to get referrals at the end, right? Mrs. Jones, my biggest goal isn't that you buy a bunch of Cutco to help me out. It's actually that you introduce me to a couple more people, just like your friend did. But we'll do that at the end. Sound good? So positive expectations there. Use your customer list to build rapport and figure out which networks they're involved with. And then do your demo, close, ask for referrals like you always do. And then again, just have either in the back of your mind or literally write down a list and have a good reason of why you want to meet these people. So you get your referrals, you know, on your, I think y'all have already gone over this, you're going to go over it, but it's really important that you have a visual like marker. So like for me, you know, my sponsors at 15, they have a yellow line. Mr. Jones writes their referrals, gets there. Awesome, Mr. Jones, I really appreciate that. Hey, by the way, one other question. When I graduate, I really, really, really would love to work in oil and gas. And so I was just going to see, I actually have a list of people in Memorial that are in oil and gas or investments. And I wanted to see who on this list you could introduce me to or who you might know. So I've already gotten my 15 referrals. And here's a great example. I'm just casually flipping through this, right? Like there's eight referrals. But then here's one more. She's like, hey, call this lady. She knows this company, right? And that's simply because I asked, like, hey, who on that list do you know? Or do you know that it knows somebody? So that's all I've got. Kathy, I don't know if there's like a way to do questions and answers or if there's time. But either way, that's what I've got for y'all today. Crush the push. If you can get in front of a couple of those people the week, you know, like pop week, see them as soon as you can, because again, people know more people like themselves and you'll get more higher referrals. People when you wind up with some really cool job offers when you do go to graduate. So
Awesome.
And then figure out that Cutco might just be the best opportunity in the three. So anything else, Kathy?
No, anybody have any questions you want to ask? Yeah. I want to dive in, and by the way, this right here, we've gone through that. So I want to, I guess, wrap up in terms of recommendations. We're going to do a little walk around so you guys can stretch your bums and also go through back routine so you can get what you need here in a moment. So I'll walk through this. But in terms of recommendations, okay, what other questions? What else? And guys, from when you guys went around in your circles and said, what's the biggest thing we need to be rocking 20+ recommendations? What is it? If one leader from each group can raise your hand and share what needs to happen for your team to get 20+ reps. I want to hear actionable. What needs to happen right now? So we're doing that. If there's any questions, that we can raise hands. So I'll just start over here. We'll go right around. So biggest thing over here. What needs to happen?
I heard a lot of just memorizing the record.
Cool. So getting it down. So getting the 3 bullets down, memorizing the approach. Over here.
The 30 or 20 time sponsorship.
Explaining the sponsorship properly. By the way, for those of you guys, if there's anyone in here who never attended an SLDM, raise your hand if you've never been to an SLDM. Raise your hand high, please. All right? So there's a couple in here. Or if you lost this, I gave this an SLDM and this packet, and I brought extras just in case someone didn't have it, because there are some really great things, and this is up here, that are in here. But this packet has in here rocking recommendations. It shows you exactly how to explain the sponsorship to take it to the highest level. Cool? So it has that on the rocking recommendation sheet. You can send, like Amani was sharing earlier, that he has all his customers share. So that's on here. There's rocking the phones. All right, and if you just lost that paper, you want that, there's one juice over here. But this has the rocking the phones. It has the trial close, all right? Who here's implemented the trial close? Raise your hand if you've already implemented that. We're gonna practice this. This is all, it's in all my closes, but this right here, and this is, and you can call this options close. where it's not a yes or a no. And there's different ways for options. It could be classical pearl, the bigger or the smaller. Do you want to buy today or just put a deposit? Try it out, see how you like it. You know, having options for the customer that are yes or yes. Which one do you want? Not do you want something, okay? So that's really big. Then in this, you also have the closing on the complete, but we're going to use this. But these packets, this is from SLDM. So if you were missing it or you lost it and you want to get one, you're more than welcome to grab one of those. I also have a packet up here that many of you guys got during your advanced training 2. Some of you guys never got to attend advanced training 2. So I have a stack of these for anyone who's missing this. I know it's some of the SLDM. Some of you guys grabbed this. I know I ran a divisional SLDM for some of you guys together, and I gave this out. But you have here the information with Facebook and posting stuff up. There's a thermometer that you can use here if you didn't get one earlier, or you can make your own. There's keys to dropping down. And by the way, there's a video on YouTube where I walk through this and how to drop down, and it's just about 20 minutes, and it makes a huge impact in your results when you're dropping down the right way. There's handling objections with your sales, but this is for phones, this is for anything, and Feel Felt Found is such a great way to get that done. Then there's the bonus point papers in here, and the trade-in special. If someone wanted to trade in on a set, like what's on there. So if you were missing that, you can grab one of those. So on the table here, after we're going to break down numbers and break down goals, I want to walk you guys through, and you can write some keys on breaking down your goals. And then I labeled all this. This is this closing section. It says closing. Grab what you need. There's my triple close. This is what I use on 90% of my demos. There's the kitchen close. I use this on about 10%. If they've made a big wish list and I'm like, I'm going to close on the full kitchen. Some of you might say, I'm going to close everybody on the kitchen. That's cool, you know, but I want you guys to have that. You guys are all going to get one of these. If you don't have it, thank you, Dan Hung, guys for putting and helping out with this, and Philippe, gracias. We can bring those up here so we have them. Then there's the cookware, which you want to grab 2 pages on how to explain the cookware. You've got the flatware, and I want to make sure you guys grab that. And if you need a price list, it's here. Then here it says attack list, getting more appointments. There's a thought jogger, there's an attack list sheet, and there's a sample of the Facebook post. Over here it says phone, and it says vector phone tips. There's Kathy's approach. There's the tracker. There's a firm up in phones, which we're going to walk through. Thank you. That goes there. Muchas gracias. All right. So before we do this, I want to walk through your goals. All right. Let's talk about the push. How do you break down numbers? How do you break down a goal? There's 2 ways to do this. And normally when I break down goals, I do it both ways. All right. Write this down. Number 1 is to pick a number you're excited about and go backwards, break down. I'm going to tell you what to do with that. Number 2 is the other way. Find out how many openings you have and break it down from that way. So let's do the first one and write this down. So the first one, or if you're going, okay, there's a number I'm really excited about. All right, what is it like? What is it going to take? And some of you guys, when you break down your spaces, and that's where I like to see what's possible, you can actually do a lot more. All right, but you break down. So you've got your number you're excited about. It's 20K, it's 30K, it's whatever it is. That number that you're excited about. All right. Step 1, divide it by your average order, or $400. If it's higher than $400, then divide it by 500 or 600 or 700. All right. But $400 is our divisional average order. At this point, that's what I would be using with your managers. If you're not getting a $400 average order, you just got to make sure you got your 89 down and you're confident. If you're utilizing the stuff we went through, I mean, Andy just went through some great stuff with you guys. And I know we spent a lot of the morning on getting goals, pages, getting your reps, because that's the source of it, you know? If you're amazing at connecting people and tying them into you while you're doing this and what you want to do, that's going to impact in such a freaking huge way. But Andy talked about 1, setting the tone, goals, right? We talked about that this morning. You guys saw Tay, you saw JD, we went through stuff. But what is your goal? Why is it your goal? What do you want to do with it? What are you wanting to stand out for? What opportunities are you wanting to create for yourself? You know, so that should all be in there with your goals. Presenting the Cutco kitchen, letting them know, hey, we have everything. By the way, the front of your blue book has the Cutco kitchen. So you can talk, hey, by the way, this right here, I'm going to walk you through everything later. You can just say, this right here, this is our Cutco kitchen. It is the best value. If you can swing it, like that's the one to go with. You know, like you get your kitchen redone, remodeled, never have to worry about it again. You know, and I'll walk through what's in it later. But you can point to in the front. Some of you guys have it later after the guarantee. Doesn't matter where it is. You just want to plant the seed that we've got all this. We've got cookware. We've got flatware. We've got the knives, you know, like all these things. And I share with them, hey, I'm going to start with our sets first, our knife sets. That's usually people's first investment. We'll go from there. But if you could swing it, knocking out the whole kitchen at once is definitely the best value, you know, and walking through your stuff. And he talked about, you know, wish list as you're going through. And you guys are showing your customers, are you writing down what they like and putting Kathy's perfect kitchen, all right? Joe's sister, and they're like, hey, is that something that you want to know? You know, right now everything's free. I always said, hey, is that something you want to know prices on? Is that something that you might want to know prices on? Is that something you might want for later? And going through and adding those on there. You know, 4, we talked about deals. Josh Mueller on Wednesday will crush that with upselling and doing deals for customers. 5 is closing with options, which the trial close like that. That's something that we always used back in the day, and you guys are going to get that. He talked about feel, felt, found, speaking slowly, double tapping on the phone, it won't keep you long, and driving fuller. But in terms of closing, if you guys are implementing the stuff here, if you're getting your foundations down, if you're thinking a little bit bigger about what's possible, you know, like that, those numbers are going to go up, all right? But anyway, divide by 400 or higher, whatever number you're going to use, whether you're using divisional average or 400 or more. So right now, how many sales does that say you need to have? And I would take out your cell phones, so you can go through this process. Your managers will break down stuff with you too. But how many sales? So let's say let's do yours. We're gonna do yours live. So crank it out. So we've got a $20,000 goal. We're dividing that by 400. All right, so that's 50 sales. So 50 sales. Now we're gonna divide that by your closing percentage. Okay. You can use 70%. It's pretty standard for most of you guys. Some of you guys, you know you're at 80% or 85. All my top pushers and the guys who have done this before, 85%, you can totally utilize the guys who are in that. So anyway, I have 90%, I have 85. I would never use over 85 when I'm mapping out numbers, ever. So you guys are all going to be somewhere between 70 to 85%. If you're utilizing the trial close, the options close, you'll be out. Some of you guys might want to break it down with 60%. You know, talk with your managers to walk through that and help you get your closing ratio higher. But again, if you've never known as much as you know now. If you implement if you're with a customer, you're like, oh, let me show you how many you want or not. You know, versus the times of, I can't wait to show you this. This is amazing. Like, you are going to love it. Like, Miss Smith, like, just honestly fell in love. And, like, where's your confidence when you're showing it and your belief that everyone should own it? Andy, by the way, has over a 90%. I think he's like 93% closing ratio for as long as I've known that we've tracked. And the fact is, it's very rare he has a no sale. It's because he expects everybody to get something. And he's so like, people can feel that. He's like, oh, you got to look at this. You guys saw him even through the computer, but he's like, oh, he's like, and he's always like, I mean, when he takes out his petite carver, like he didn't go through his demo tips because that's like a whole other hour. He'll like take it out and he's like, are you ready? And they're like, he's like, I don't know if you're ready. Are you? You know, I like making noise. I'm like, oh, or like do something random. But it makes them laugh. And they see like he believes in his stuff. And he has fun with it and they see it. You know, so that transfers, guys. Well, what is a sale? It's a transfer of enthusiasm from one person to the other. It's a belief transfer. Dude, this restaurant's sick. You need to check it out. Boom, I just sold you on going. I want to go check it out. It's a transfer of excitement. So where's your energy level when you're going to your demos with your customer? Where's your belief in the product? And even for those of you who are more reserved, more chill, all right, you got to they need to see it. You need to use your nonverbals. Oh, this, you know, and through stories, through people who have used it, through testimonials. These are all things that impact your efforts. All right. So you divide. Now you divide your the amount of sales. If I have 50 sales, we're going to divide by 0.7 or 0.75 or 0.8. Write that down. Divide by the closing. 0.75 0.7, 0.75, 0.8, whatever yours is, maybe yours is 0.6, whatever it is, you want to divide. So what does that come out to?
72.
Cool. So he needs 72 appointments in order to have the sales he wants. So that tells you right there, and this is important, anyone who's an assistant manager, or you're helping anyone break down goals, know it. So we've got the number. What do we do first with the number? Divide it by what?
Yeah.
Average order. Cool. That's step one. If you missed it, write it down. So you divide by average order. Then we divide, that gives you the number of sales. We divide the number of sales by what? Closing percentage. So now you divide by 0.6, 0.7, point whatever, and that'll give you the number of demos. So for Raj, he needs to do 72 appointments, all right, in order to hit that goal. Then you want to look at, you guys, some of you talked about your schedules, whatever. If you guys go over, and we're going to go through, and you're going to like practice with your neighbor, you know, your phone approach. That'll be the last thing we do is phone stuff, and then we'll dive in so you guys can make phone calls and load up your week. All right. If you guys actually, when you're on the phones, if you're implementing this and you're using the building urgency that's in there in my approach, and you're firming it up, and you have fun with them, like I completed 90% of my day. I knew 90% were getting done. And during the push, you always want to have backups, all right? I'm going to give you guys some keys next Monday. Tips and keys to help you guys out as we go through the push to always stay booked, cool? And having a backup list and having people that you have. Like, we're going to go through that with you guys so you have it and you're ready to go, all right? So that's really important. So you should be completing 90% of your demos, you know? So if you look at this, I'm like, all right, for Raj, like, all right, he should have like about 80 appointments in his schedule. So what is it per minute? And now you go to your schedule sheet. So everybody grab your schedule sheet, all right? And you need to look at your schedule sheet and block off. And this is something you guys want to do, and you're going to want to do this tonight. I know some of you might make your push stuff, and you're like, oh, wait, I didn't know it was Grandma's 80th birthday. Oh, wait, I didn't know, you know, whatever was going on. So something that's going to be really important is for you guys to actually, like, talk to your family before we finalize these numbers, and your managers, your district managers and branch managers this week will meet with you to finalize your schedule, to finalize, break down your goals, to do your skills stuff, cool? But you need to find out what's happening. If we look here and we maximize demos on Tuesdays, just so you guys know, on Mondays, Tuesdays, Fridays, even Saturdays, but definitely Monday, Tuesdays, and Fridays, you can get 8 appointments done. If you want to have 8 appointments, that's what Sadie's going for. A couple of other guys, on those days, Monday, Tuesday, Friday, you start your first one at 8:30 a.m. and do 8:30, 10:30, 12:30, 2:30, 4:30, 6:30, 8:30, and you could do a 10:30 p.m. You could do one even later if you want, but those days are good blitz days. Why do I say those days? Why not Wednesday? Why not Thursday? Why not Sunday? Feel it. You need call time. Cool. Sundays, all day call day. You talk to anybody, and Caitlin, I mean, you see from SC and other people. What happens on a Sunday push?
It's like all day in the office, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m.
By the way, Chicago, this week, I got all their stuff. Like, I'm on their groups because they're kicking our butt. They wiped us. Before the one see what the heck they're doing. Their all-day call day on Sunday before their push starts at 8 o'clock in the freaking morning. And they're all there until 9 p.m. And they go from 8 to noon, and then at noon, they're having lunch. And they're going through a little activity. Then they start at 1:30, they're going to 5. And then they're doing like a little motivation, whatever. And then they're going back, and they're finishing strong the last couple hours. Like, they don't F around, they're serious. Their alliance, you know what time they meet? Anyone know?
7:30.
6 a.m.
6 a.m. They meet from 6 to 8 a.m. every day. The guys who are on the Chicago Alliance, just so you guys know, like up in the Central Region, at 6 a.m. They run their alliance. So everyone is going to have different schedules with your offices. I'm just saying, like, there's certain disciplines, and these guys want to go big to having more time available. So Sundays, you want to make sure your entire Monday, your entire Tuesday, your entire Wednesday is booked. Cool? Wednesday, we're making sure that weekend is getting loaded. Obviously, every morning, you're making 20 calls. I'm making note of that always, every single morning. That's what we line. Minimum 20. If you don't have a demo, you should be making 40, 50 calls. But you just go. Crank your calls. Boom, 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 boom. You have your list of people to call. All right? Then on Thursday evenings, you've got, you want to always protect that. I never screwed with Thursday night. Why? What happens on Friday? Payday. Yes, you'll get paid. You're in the best moods. You have most husbands and wives together. Like people are more chill. I loved freaking Friday night demos and Saturday. You experienced exactly why I love Friday night demos. What happened Friday night? Haley and Tay? Haley dropped a complete set, they drank wine, and they got dinner. It's awesome, all right? People are in good moods. They're like, you want a beverage? You want this? You want food? You're like, hell yeah. And they dropped, a couple grand, all right? That's pretty freaking cool. So I always love doing those demos, man. So Thursday, you've got to make sure Friday is loaded up. Saturday is loaded up, cool? So making sure you always have that 48-hour window ready to go. So now we look at this and we say, how many demos do we have? So you need to count up dollar signs, or if you're like, oh, Tuesday I'm going to start at 8:30 a.m., you move your dollar signs all up. Regardless, it's still $8 signs, okay, for Tuesday. So counting up your dollar signs in a maxed out schedule, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on a Monday, Tuesday, Friday. So that's 24. On a Wednesday, there's 6. That's Thursday. 30. On Thursday, there's 4. Or you could do a late night as 5 is 35. On Saturday, there's time for 6+. So there's 40 demo spots between Monday through Saturday. Cool? So we've got 2 weeks, all right? And so that follows 32. So there's time for 112 demos. Cool? That's what there's time for. And you're going to have to squeeze in some extra. When we did Tay's goals, she was like, I need to have 108 orders. Well, I have to get closing every time. All right, but we know that there's going to be some stuff and we need to work on certain things with average order, prospecting, double booking, because in order for her to hit her goal, we've got to capitalize on every second of the push. All right? You guys have different numbers. And so you'll look at that and see how many openings you have. So the other way to break it down, right? So there's enough time. Most of you guys should land with your averages in the 80 to 100 demos if you're going for 20K. If you're going for 10K, it's $50. That's why you guys have this yellow paper for your 50 demo tracker. If you're going for bigger numbers, you probably want 2 of these. Cool? But everyone has this to track your 50 demos. If you do 50 demos, all right, and you're implementing the stuff we go over, it is very hard not to hit 10K. Like, you really have to try not to hit it. All right, so that's actually closing. So, did you want to do that, right, Mariah? All right, that's what you got to do. So this gets you guys there. So the other way, if you're like, hey, what could I do? Which is how I like to break stuff down, is I take this and go, okay, I have church on Sunday. I have this, Mom, what do we have going on? What do we have in these 2.5 weeks? Okay, and we're like breaking stuff down, looking at numbers, seeing what we can figure out, and then I count up all my openings. All right, so you get your total number of appointments available. So write this down. This is way 2. You want to check what your max schedule looks like. So way 1 was, how do I hit my push goal? Right, that's one way. I get my goal and I break it down. The second way is, how do I see what my maxed out schedule is? Right, what's a maxed out goal? So step 1, you count up the number of appointments you have. Cool? That's step 1. Step 2, you multiply by the closing. So times 0.7, 0.6, 0.75, whatever it is. You multiply by the closing, that'll show you, all right, the number of sales that you can have. Then you multiply that times $400, times the average order, or 500 or 600, depending on your average, all right? So number of appointments available times 0.6 or 0.7 times 400, all right? And what do you get? Ralph, what do you got? I see you now. What do you get as your number? 15,000, cool. Who else? If you broke down numbers like that, what do you have? 41. All right, $41,000. So looking at that, is yours? Any other? All right. So this is a way to break down. So again, I just want to share that with you guys. You're going to finalize out with your DMs, but I want you guys thinking big. Like, what's possible? If you actually opened up your schedule, looked at the amount of appointments that are available, what could I do? Because these 2.5 weeks, all right, starting next week, is the time to really see what you're capable. something that Andy mentioned that I want to make sure that doesn't get left behind. He gave basically 8 keys randomly at the end as he went through to a great push. The first one, some of you guys mentioned, what was the first one? Never come home during the day. That was the first one he gave. The second one, what did he say? Anyone write these down? Stay in touch with people that are selling. So through being on the Alliance, through having your accountability groups, you'll be able to do that and stay in touch with people that are selling. Third one, what did he say? All right. Do you have what motivates you? Something that excites you. All right. Knowing good songs, and he said his playlist, he puts 2 songs that pump him up, one of the 15-minute motivational. 2 songs that pump him up, one of the 15-minute motivational. That's how he has it rotated on his playlist. So whatever it is for you, but having stuff that gets you excited, having stuff that gets you focused, motivates you. And also, that's really cool part of your having a vision board in your blue book like JD, like Tay have. All right, who else has something like that where you have pictures of things you want to do and go for? All right, who else has them? So Caitlin, Liza, Adrian, that's something that I would get done this week. I know managers are going to have a day where we make sure we have all your goals and stuff set up, and there'll be workshops happening throughout the week you guys can take advantage of, but make sure you get organized. And that was one of the things that he mentioned there too. So number 4 said be held accountable, and that's part of this process and being with the Alliance. Number 5, you guys also, I heard some people mention, was having conversations with the family. Number 6, he talked about setting up your blue book, right? Get organized and set up your blue book. So put in your goals, put in your sheet, put in pictures of customers, having standings, all right? That was one of the things that he mentioned. Write this down. Ask your manager to print out campaign to date office rankings. Some of you are ranked high and you want to get the divisional rankings. You're in the top 25 in the division. But everybody in this room can easily hop into the top 25 for your office. Most of you in this room are in that top 25. And that's why you're actually sitting here right now. So ask for that ranking sheet. That's awesome to have in your book. You go, hey, Ms. Jones, right now, I'm number 17 in my office, and my goal is to be in the top 3. Or my goal is to be number 1. You know, whatever your goal is. But saying, so I'm working really hard to keep moving up in the rankings. And guys, that is awesome to put on your resume. You were top 10, in the number 1 office, or the number 5 office, or the best office ever of all time in College Station, or whatever it is. And being able to put that on your resume is pretty freaking baller. So having those printouts. So it's called campaign to date rep rankings for office. So ask your manager to print that for you to put it into your book, because you guys don't have access to that on your Vector Connect. It's only on the manager Vector Connect. Cool? But going on Vector Connect, but your system managers, I believe, can access that too. But definitely branches, definitely DMs can access that. What else is on Vector Connect? What else do you need to print out? So printing out stuff that you're excited about, scholarship, internship. It talks about like the branch program, Amber, like it's in Vector Connect. Vector Connect has a lot of stuff, contest rankings. Tomorrow, Brian Winans will finish our stuff for the levels. So we'll give you guys levels for the push, right? The different levels for prizes of all the prizes you guys can win. You'll have the levels for the trophies and how you get a trophy. All right, so this week, this week is challenge week. So everything you do this week, we will recognize the top sellers next Monday, a week from Monday. And for the challenge week, we'll have top 15 reps, we'll get swords, okay? So we've got the Katana swords coming back. So we'll have top 15 that built momentum. We'll get swords, we'll have top offices, so we'll shoot that out. But what are you doing to build momentum this week and stand out? But this is a big week of like moving the needle to make sure you're ready to crush the following week, all right? So we'll have those for you to share with customers, all right? We'll also have, we'll have the trophies, we'll have the prize levels, you want goal sheets. This week is the challenge with the swords, but you want to put that in there. We're going to get a promo piece for SC2, so you can put that in your books as well. You guys can get sponsored, or you can keep it yourselves. You guys get $150 of product to cover the cost. So SC2, it is, you get a cheese knife and a steak knife. Cool, traditional cheese knife and a steak knife combo. You get $150 of product. The conference is $125. Sell it for cash, or just keep it because it's freaking awesome. And it'll help you sell a lot more signatures and complete sets. Cool. Having that steak knife, having that cheese knife. But you can talk to your managers about that. All right. Yep. All right. Traditional cheese knife. It is sexy. All right. So, yo, bring it back. Bring it back. I know we got excited about the cheese mac and the steak mac.
Hell yeah.
You know you're a Cutco nerd when you're like, yes, cheese knife. We all, everyone wanted to do that inside. All right. So, listen up. The next thing Andy said, which these were all on my list, and he just like organized a tack list, right? When you guys leave here, by Wednesday, you want to have your list all organized. Cool? Your names, and there's scout joggers to help you get more. You know, I'm going to send you guys what Randy emailed me with calling back old customers to get more recommendations from them. But everyone should have a list of 100 plus by Wednesday. Some of you guys have way more than that in recommendations right now. You've done a great job with that. But you still want to visit people that you know you could have gotten more from. You still want to contact people you know you could have gotten more from. Even if that lady gave you 20 recs, but you're like, she could have given you 100. Like, I would be contacting her again to get more people, okay? And then the last thing he said was so freaking important. What was the last thing he said? Don't. Sorry. Yes, he did. Those are two things. All right. The last of the keys of organization, he said, don't wait till to call your best lead. You want to call them when? Now. You want to call them when? Tonight. Now. You want to see them tomorrow because you want their friends. And you want their friends. And you want their friends. You want to get into those circles. You want to ask for those leads you want. People know people just like them, a little bit above, a little bit below. So you want to get those people ASAP. So you can multiply those top people and get into those great circles. And then Marissa mentioned the last thing he said was 1 to 300 calls before the push starts next weekend. And that's what, by the way, in the pilot, that's why I have everyone picking 4 hours on Friday. You can do 2 in the morning, 1 at lunch, 1 in the evening, whatever. Everyone needs to organize in their schedule. When are you rocking 100 calls or 4 hours of calls that are happening on Friday? On Saturday morning, we're going to have next Saturday, there'll be breakfast, there'll be stuff to kind of ahead of you. That's going to hurt you. And a lot of you guys have big goals for this summer. You have levels you're trying to hit. You're wanting to get to bonus land. You're wanting to win a scholarship. Depending on what you're wanting to do, you can't lose any weeks, okay? So we've got to finish tomorrow strong. Everything you do tomorrow impacts your paycheck you're getting Friday. Everything you do from Tuesday to the next Monday is your next pay. Like, build those things. All right, we also want to set you guys up. I know JD just asked me, can you put me on 50%? I was talking with him about that yesterday. Where half of this paycheck's going to be put away. All right, we can do 50%, by the way. Take like, take it, all right? We'll be taking out, but you can set up to 50% of your paycheck to go straight into the savings account. You see it on your account every week. You can look at it and see it grow. But that way you just don't need to get it, all right? Because none of you need to receive a $7,300 paycheck like this one did this week. None of you need that money right now. So let it just be put away. Put it away, so you don't have the temptation where you're like, wow, I could actually do a whole new wardrobe, and I could do this, and that way I would just put money away, all right? You'll be glad. You'll be very glad, all right? Back here. So, get your tack list, break down your goals. That needs to happen this week with your people, all right? So, what we're going to do, we're going to go through right now, and we're going to get, I want you guys to, you're going to partner up and we're actually going to go through, and I'll just grab table at a time, all right? But if you guys can go through and partner with somebody and do your current close, and then I'll grab your table and go over here. But I want you guys to write it down and incorporating the deposit, because all my closes are all with the deposit program. So when you say, but most people use our what? Deposit program, 100% refundable security deposit, and write that down. So everybody, someone in your table right now, partner up. We're going to go through closing. You guys can be the first ones. Go around and grab what you need or what you want. But everybody, let's go around and do your closing. All right? Let's rock and roll. Grab what you need. Go in a circle. Let's do a little circle. Everybody starts over there and go like this.
can I get a couple more of these?
Marissa, can you get me? Yeah, there's stuff over here too that you might be missing. You guys can grab some over here.
Thank you.
Leaders, make sure everyone's doing their clothes, or if someone wants their clothes watched, let's do it. Yes, these are, let me put these over here. Yeah, if you're missing SLDM packet or
Oh yeah.
AT2.
Oh yeah.
Here, let's put these here.
Thank you.
Yep, you guys grab those. Okay, let's try to go like in a circle. Grab what you need. If you guys have some of your stuff on right, so grab it. Grab what you need. Should start right here. No, someone doesn't read. So first, two pages. Hey guys, read the little papers. It says like 2 pages for cookware. Some of you still grab one, so you're missing the second page of cookware. Grab only what you need. Thank you. Grab what you need. They're all, everyone needs. Water was refilled in the back. If you need it real quick, you need to come out and get one. You need another one too.
Yeah, I got so fast. She goes,
remember what the record was for SC2. I'm just trying to see because someone needs like the calculator thing. Like, see what it is. I thought it was like 50 points, like kill or something like that. 22. Okay, so they said like if they had like a $600 average order, I could sell them like 3K per day. But the thing is, my average order is like 450. So I had to figure out to bring an average order. Like you want me to come to the office or something? Okay. Is this thing recording? Oh man. So when do you want me to like close for?
What I'm noticing, like,
All right, guys, go real quick. You guys got two closes that just came around. You got the triple close. You've got the kitchen close. When do you use which? When you go through the wish list, if they put flatware and cookware on their wish list, what do you want to close with? Kitchen. If they don't have it on the wish list, then I just do the triple close. All right. And the triple close is not necessarily always a triple close. Anyone from my office, what is a triple close? What prices are you showing? Whatever they like and whatever's above it. So if they said homemaker, you're going to show all three prices. If they said signature, you're showing the complete set and the signature price. If they just said complete, then I'm just showing the complete set, all right? So when you guys go through this, I want to walk you guys through this real quick because I want you guys to get a run through and practice going through triple close, which is going to be the majority of your demos. And then if someone is interested in possible cookware, is interested in possible flatware, then you want to close the kitchen, all right? If you want more people interested in cookware and in flatware, you guys got the handout on how to explain it. Now those are like if you close after, adding it after. What you want to look at is how to explain it, right? Like how do you talk about cookware? How do you talk about the flatware? That's on there. So we want you guys to go through and actually talk to your neighbor read through out loud the flatware, read through out the cookware. That's stuff that you guys will do with your team. Cool? With your neighbor, you're going to practice the closing. So in your offices this week, you want to be drilling how to explain the cookware, how to explain the flatware, and you can study it on your own. There'll be workshops during the week, but you have the materials to get that down. All right. So now we're going to pretend you did a great job explaining everything. They loved it. We're going to close on the kitchen. What does that look like? And then now we close on the. We do the triple close. So I have. Is there anyone from my office who's comfortable doing the triple close out loud? Just doing it right now. JD went like this. You're it. Go. So do it, and then I'll have you do the kitchen. All right. So just so you guys can see it, so I would pull out your triple close and follow along, so you guys can see how that rolls. All right. Yeah, you want to write. Didn't have a big. If you missed, if you guys missed copies, I didn't tell each table. Make sure you finish grabbing copies. All right. So we're going to record the writing so we can see it. All right. So let's pretend I said I really like the signature set. Raj and I are your customers. You know.
Where's my notebook? Oh, there it is.
I'm lying. You're now husband and wife. This is your Matt customer. All right, let's go.
Mr.
By the way, if you want to come over here and watch, you can come over here and watch. Quietly, he's going to do the triple close. All right? You can follow along. You can come over and watch as well, so you can see how to write stuff down also.
Wait, so signature is steak or table? It's your wife.
Whatever. Steak knife.
Yeah,
Right.
always
Then
steak.
zero is
Always
now.
steak.
Let's go.
All right. So I'm starting at.
So I want to see it. So going through prices. All right. So we start off. So let's talk prices. So you just finished showing me all the knives. You finished everything. You went through the whole book. You showed me all the accessories. All right. You showed everything. Once you're done showing everything, when you guys go to close, you want to be wherever there's a picture. So whether it's the front of your blue book that looks like this, okay, or if you have this is old. They don't make them anymore, but it doesn't matter. But even that's why we made these now, so you have everything in one place. Now you go to talk prices, all right? So go for it. This is going to be my skills check for you. I'll watch, see how you do it. So I'll give them feedback at the end too, but just so you guys can see. Go for it.
I'm going to go back to this because I'm just going to do how I do it.
Yeah.
All right, I got you.
I would never close showing knives. Cool? Just so you guys know. You'll close more sets if you're letting them look at the picture of the set when you're closing. You'll close more set sales, period. That's why Andy was like, don't even show the pieces, show the set. You want them always looking at sets before you talk about it. And at the end, when you go to close, you always want them looking at the set when you're closing, whichever set it is. You never want them looking at pieces when you're closing, all right? So go for it.
So we like the signature set with steak knives.
Yes, sir.
All right. So you had the chance to price out high quality cutlery before?
No.
Well, I do have a price comparison for you. And when it comes to high quality cutlery, it's like anything else. There's a wide variety of quality and prices. I mean, you can go to Walmart and buy a $5 set that lasts you a week. But since we're top rated, we do only compare to the best. So I have a price comparison. Have you heard of Wusthof or Schoon?
No. I want you to literally go through the triple close, like you're brand new reading straight off that thing. So start from the top there.
All right.
Or
so
Raj can do it. Boom, there you go.
All right. So let's talk prices. Have you had the chance to price out fine cutlery lately?
No, not really.
It's like anything else. There's a wide variety of quality and prices. But Cutco is top rated, so we do only compare to the best. Now I have a price comparison for some of the top brands and cutlery that you'll find in Williams-Sonoma and other top kitchen stores. Have you ever been to Williams-Sonoma?
No.
No?
Yes. Almost every mom will say yes. All right.
Schoon, along with Wusthof and Heinkel's, are some of your top-rated knives in the stores. These high-quality sets are made overseas, German, Japanese, and each brand has different types of sets that range in different prices. These are their best sets that they have to offer in stores, like their BMW 7 Series. So if you went to Williams-Sonoma to replace your knives, it would normally cost $3,000 to $4,000. But as you saw, you can find them on sale for less. like this Wusthof set, you could find on sale for about $2,000. But there are some major differences. First of all, with the Wusthof, I don't know if you noticed, there's a lot of straight edge knives. So you gotta sharpen those all the time, huge hassle. They're also not recommended for the dishwasher. It says when you buy them, don't put in the dishwasher. And the only warranty you get on them is for manufacturing defects. So if you break it, you're spending about $200 to replace a knife. Now in comparison, Cutco has the wedge lock handle, which is safe for the dishwasher, the double D stay sharp edge, which you don't have to sharpen, and then the 4-part forever guarantee that I was talking about earlier that includes the free sharpening. So anyone who owns Cutco will tell you it's 10 times better than any common knife they've ever used, but just considering the unique features and the guarantee, most would agree it's about twice as good. But when something offers twice the quality, value, and lasts you forever, you would expect the price to be at least twice as much, right? Now the awesome thing about Cutco is that since it's not sold in stores, none of our sets cost, like I said, it would cost more. That would put a set of Cutco at about $4,000, at least the basic set. And the signature set that y'all liked with steak knives would be around like $7,000.
What?
Now, the awesome thing about Cutco is that since it's not sold in stores, none of our sets cost $4,000 to $5,000. As a matter of fact, our basic set at Williams-Sonoma, which would cost over $3,000. Put this script in front of me and threw me off.
I know, it's a new script that I want you guys to get comfortable with because you're going to sell a lot more using it. So, go through.
All right. So as a matter of fact, none of them are as much as a basic set at Williams-Sonoma, which costs over $3,000. Our complete set, which is the one above the signature set right here, cost $27.89 with steak knives, that is. And to try it out today, it'd be about $600, and that includes the 15-day trial. So you can try it out and see what you think. It's 100% refundable, 20% deposit. Now, our signature set that y'all liked with steak knives drops to $20.69, and to try that out today, it'd be $448. And then our basic set with the steak knives would be about $15.11. And to try that out today, it'd be about $300. And all of this does include a 15-day trial that's 100% refundable.
Just keep going with what you do. I'm gonna walk through it right after.
So the signature set is the one that y'all like the best. It has 10 knives, 2 forks, spatula, and the super shears, along with 10 steak knives. And then our complete set does include the gourmet knives, along with 2 extra steak knives. And then as a thank you, I could give you a little free gift with one of those 3, but I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask if you'd like to try out the signature or the complete today and see what you think.
Okay, so I'll tell you this. So in terms of, and I'm going to take your seat actually because I'm going to do it back so you guys can see this. So first off, your comparison was pretty solid, but you didn't really build them up as much as you can. I think about when you're closing big and you're closing big deals, there's a lot that you can do in terms of building up the competition so people know, like, you know, how great it is. So making sure you're building that up. Then writing numbers, you want to be so clear that like they look at this, like they know exactly what's going on. And this is really important. So as you guys go through there and you go to close, and this is what the closing, and for me, it's really important. I always like to have, can I have one of those that has the dual-sided, the closing paper, the kitchen comparison? No, the comparison, that's not it. Thank you. All right, so when I go to close, because I like to have all the sets and deposits right here when I'm going through stuff with them, all right? So when we go here, I'm like, all right, cool. So we finished up everything. I have their wish list. So let's say whatever they like the signature. Let's just say they like the homemaker. So you guys could see when you write all 3. If not, you just stop at whichever one, all right? So let's say they like the homemaker. They like the fishing knife. They like some hunting, you know, whatever. All right, so we went through that. I'm like, all right, cool. Went through the book. And I'm like, all right, so let's talk prices. I'm like, have you had a chance to price fine cutlery lately?
Maybe a little bit.
Okay. Most people do that when they get married, you know? So it's like anything else. There's such a wide range of quality and prices available. Cutco's top rated, so we only compare to the high quality, you know, the highest quality stuff. So this right here is a comparison for some of the top brands and cutlery sets you're going to find at Williams-Sonoma or the top kitchen stores. Have you ever been to Williams-Sonoma before? Okay, so yeah, like all your like gadgets and pots and pans and everything. So this right here are just like for knives and cookware and flatware. But if you were to go, Shun, that's where if you guys have this, you can show that as well. But I'm like, there's Shun, which are Japanese, Wusthof, which are your German, and Henkel's, like their sister companies. Those are the highest quality brands made overseas in Japan and Germany. Each of these brands has different sets that range in price. So think about like BMW, right? You have like 3, 5, 7 series. So same deal. So these are their 7 series fully loaded. So obviously they're not cheap, I'm like, they're fantastic. If Cutco didn't exist, like that's what I would go with. Now, if you look here, normally these do cost $3,000 to $4,000, but you can get them on sale for less. There's different deals and sales that happen throughout the year, especially now for the holidays. Now, there are some major differences between us and them. So with these, like when you have Wusthof, Shun, so if you're just using this, and depending if you guys have it just still in your book or if you take it out, I had this and this on it. I mean, there's just different ways. It doesn't matter. But some of the top guys, what they'll do is they have printouts of, this, the Shun, the Wusthof, and just showing some prices. Or you can get a Williams-Sonoma catalog. And so some of the, hey, if you go to Williams-Sonoma, here's the prices, and they have circled around the different sets. So you guys can order a Williams-Sonoma catalog offline. I don't think they have them anymore here, and if they did, they're going to run out of them real quick when you guys leave downstairs. But there's Williams-Sonoma across the street here. But you can order a catalog to get mailed to your house, and then you can show that on demos too. Cool. Why do I like to print out my own as well as this? Why do I like to have the catalog? Any guesses why I would do that? It shows that you know your stuff. It shows that you've done your homework. You're not just saying what they told you to say. Like you're like, hey, look, if you go to the store, and so I like to have those. So whether you print stuff out from Williams-Sonoma, Macy's, Bed Bath & Beyond, like we show you guys in training, like, you've done your homework. You know what it costs if you go to the store. So anyway, they show that, but I'm like, so biggest differences, they do have to be sharpened every time they're used. They're not recommended for the dishwasher, warranties against defects only. In comparison, Cutco does have the double DH Stay Sharp Edge, has the 4-part forever guarantee, including the 15-day trial and the forever sharpening, free sharpening. So anyone who wants Cutco, like the Jones and, Miss Smith, she's had him 32 years. Miss Susie, she's had him 27 years. And actually, Rhonda recommended to you. She actually had some for about 5 years now. She's a newer customer. But they'll tell you it's like 10 times better than any knives I've ever used. And I know you guys haven't had a chance to really use Cutco that much yet, but considering the unique, the guarantee, the unique features, most people agree that Cutco is at least twice as good as the stuff that you're going to get in stores, And when, something is twice as good, offers twice the quality and value, and lasts forever, what would you expect the cost to be? Like twice the price. Yeah, for sure. And if you were looking at your set with Cutco at twice the price, all right, from, let's say we just use the sale price of the $2,000. If we use the sale price at twice the price, you'd be talking over $4,000. All right, which is like buying a nice fridge or like a nice refrigerator. Cool. Now, the awesome thing about Cutco is that since it's not sold in stores, our sets don't cost, $4,000 to $5,000. As a matter of fact, they're not even as much as this here, which would be a price for like a basic set of ours. None of our sets cost that. None of our sets are even as much as the smaller sets that you get in stores, which all retail over $3,000. Cool. Our complete set is actually only, and this is where I always write, even if it's at Homemaker, I'm going to write all the prices. I'm like, our complete set actually is $24.99. And by the way, Mr. Spence, it's actually double the knives of these and guaranteed forever. All right. So that's pretty cool. So our complete set, which is double the knives, not even as much as that. Our medium, our signature family set is only $18.19. And the basic set that you liked is only $12.12. Cool. So that's what the prices come out to. So everything's about 20 to 30% cheaper than what you get in stores. Now, if you wanted to try out any of the sets, you could pay for it all in full today. But, as I mentioned earlier, I'm assuming you didn't put aside like 7 to 10 grand to redo your kitchen today, or a couple grand waiting for the knife girl. And you haven't had a chance to even try it all out, So what most people do when they start their Cutco collection is they use our deposit program. And what this is, it allows you to put down 100% refundable security deposit for any set you want to try, all right? And the deposit's for 20% of the price of whatever set. And so this actually gives you 3 weeks to try them out and just see what you think. So worst case, you have free Cutco for 3 weeks. All right, that's worst case. And you know, send it back, you get 100% of your money back. That's not going to happen. You're going to love the stuff. All right. So you have 2 options. You're going to fall in love with the stuff. You can call and just pay the whole thing off. All right. Or you could do our easy pay, which is interest free, and it charges you the same amount each month of the 20%. All right. And again, at any time you can if you wanted to try out the signature, the deposit comes out to $396. And if you wanted to try the homemaker set out, the deposit comes out to $265. All right. So now that you know the prices on the sets, would you want to, and actually before that, I'm like, so we have something called a buy now bonus. It's basically a reason to buy now versus later. If you guys wanted to get it today, as a thank you, I can give you gifts depending on which set, anywhere from like $150 to $250. Cool. By the way, you don't even have to give it amount. You can just say, I can actually give you a free gift. But you could say up to $150. That's good for any of them. All right. I'm like, so you could actually get that fishing knife or hunting knife for free with any of these sets if you wanted to try it out today. So now that you know the prices though, would you still want to just try the basic set, or would you want to try one of the larger sets instead?
Let's go for the complete.
All right. And they'll say whatever, whatever they say. And I'm like, all right, cool. Well, hey, if you got that, like I said, you can get the fishing, hunting. Let me show you if there's anything else. And then we'll go into like gifts. I'll say, hey, now do you have anything? And that's the talk that we're going to go through Wednesday. Wedding set and the signature set. Okay, those are the only 2 I would have written. And if they say complete set, well, then I'm just closing on the complete set. I don't say anything else. I'm like, hey, the great thing is that our complete set, which is double the knives and guaranteed forever, is not even as much as a basic set retails in stores. All right, and so again, it's, you know, they could pay in full, or they could put a deposit, try it out, see how they like it, and then go from there. All right, and then we'll drop down from that point. Now, when you're doing the kitchen, I'm just going to do it because I'm here now. I know I was going to have Tay do it for you guys, and she does a great job, unless you want to sit here and do it.
I'm cool with whatever.
All right.
Y'all want.
You can do it. I want to watch you. All right. Let's see it. Okay. So let's say, so we went through the demo, and let's say I said, I like the signature. No, I'm going to move. So I like the signature set. I like the flatware. That looks nice. Maybe I said I like the griddle. Like if they picked any piece of cookware. Also give her feedback, but you want to make sure we're going to role play. You guys are going to practice this so you can go through the verbiage. But if you guys notice, it's 8 and 9, but next level. Cool. 2.0. But it's that same foundation, and it's made to be very conversational as you're going through with your customer. All right. So I'm going to give this over to Senorita St. Laurent.
I'm just going to read straight from the script like I always do.
Yep, that's what she does. And she's done it for me before. If you guys look at this, it's like a beat up, all right, thing, because that's what she uses when going through. So go for it.
All right, give me a minute to get to my page. Are you my Miss Jones?
Mr. Jones, go whatever.
All right, Miss Jones. I'm sorry, I have to do that. I'm sorry. Okay, so Miss Jones, have you had a chance to price high quality cutlery, cookware, or flatware lately?
Nope.
All right, most people do when they're married, but it's like anything else. There's a wide variety of quality and prices available. Cutco's top rated solely compared to the highest quality brands. So this here is a price comparison of top cutlery, cookware, and flatware
First
sets.
step, slow down. And you got everyone watching you and going through so you can get a little bit nervous. Remember, that's what Andy said earlier. You know, I was talking pretty fast. You got to make sure, and I had to really tell myself, okay, hot tub. You know, this is in my ass. I'm like, chill. Let's go do this. You got to slow down when you're talking prices. All right, go.
All right, cool. All right, Schoon, along with Wusthof and Hinkels, are your top-rated knives in stores. These high-quality sets are made overseas, like in Japan and Germany. And these here are the 7 Series fully loaded models, so they're obviously not cheap. So if you went to Williams-Sonoma to replace the 3 major parts of your kitchen, it normally costs around $11,776, but sometimes you can find on sale for less.
Now, this is also a really good thing that James mentioned earlier that I don't know that everyone caught when he talked about Wolf appliances, Sub-Zero fridges, like those different things, like those cost money. Like Wolf appliances, people spend thousands to $10,000s of dollars for these appliances. So just so you guys are aware, because it's easy, and I remember for me, I didn't close kitchens and bigger things until I really understood what the heck all these things in a house cost. Because I was like, oh my gosh, who spends that? Well, a lot of people, anyone who buys high quality, if you're buying good stuff for your kitchen, like it costs money. So don't be scared as you're going through these numbers. That's a big part of closing big, is just where your head's at, your confidence in showing the big numbers and knowing. If you guys go, and I would go on later, subzero.com, and I would check out prices of Sub-Zero fridges to give yourself a realistic expectation and Wolf appliances of what these things cost. Because many of you walk in homes that have these, and you have no idea how much they spent on them. It's a good thing for you to have some background on. All right, so go ahead, keep going.
All right, so there are some major differences between these brands and Cutco. Overseas brands have mostly straight edges, so they have to be sharpened constantly, which is a hassle, or you have to pay for sharpening. The warranty is on manufacturing defects only, and they are not recommended for the dishwasher. In comparison to Cutco, we have our 4-part forever guarantee, the double D Stay Sharp Edge, the free polishing, free sharpening, and the 3-week trial. Now, All-Clad is your top cookware sold in stores, but it's not low moisture cookware, which is a higher grade of cookware altogether and not sold in stores. And this is one of the top stainless flatware sets sold in stores from Italy. Now, anybody who owns Cutco, like Miss J, will tell you that it's 10 times better than any of the knives they've ever used before. I know you haven't had a chance to use them much yet, but just considering the guarantee and the unique features, most people will consider Cutco at least twice as good as the in-store competition. And when something offers twice the quality and value and lasts forever, most people would expect it to be at least twice the price. Now, twice the price to redo your kitchen with Cutco, you'd be talking about over $17,478. So it's like buying a top-of-line Sub-Zero fridge or Wolf appliance. Now, the awesome thing about Cutco, our Cutco kitchen, which is guaranteed forever, separately retails at $83.39. But if you wanted to try a lot out, there's a bundle where you save over 20%, and it's only $65.24. And you haven't had a chance to try it out yet. So what most people do when they start off their Cutco collection is our deposit program, which allows you to put down a 100% refundable security deposit just to try everything out and see what you think. So the deposit's for 20% and gives you 3 weeks. So worst case, you send anything back you don't love, you'll get a 100% refund. You get free Cutco for 3 weeks. But what usually happens is you're going to fall in love with it like Miss J, and then you'll have it for the rest of your life. So then you have 2 options. You can call and you can pay the whole thing off, or you can just use our Easy Pay, which is interest-free and charges the same amount every 30 days. So the deposit to try out the kitchen comes out to $14.15. And again, this is 100% refundable and really gives you and your husband a chance to just get a feel for everything we have to offer. And if you wanted to do that today, the company actually allows me to give you up to $1,000 worth of free Cutco. I know, right? Crazy. So you can get the garden tools for your wife for free. You can get that K-Bar Explorer that I won. Oh, you can get the K-Bar Explorer. You can get those extra steak knives. And any other gadget you want for free. Now that you know the prices, would you want to like put down the deposit on the kitchen, just try it all out, or would you rather see packages on the stuff you liked?
I guess we can just do it.
The kitchen?
Yeah,
all right, you're gonna love your Cutco. Woo!
By the way, that was perfect. So yeah, give her a round of applause. You want to slow down as you're going through, and you guys notice at the end and say, now that you know the prices, would you want to put a deposit and try everything out? Or would you want to see deals on the stuff that you liked, all right? So that's what we're going to walk through. So right now, you guys are going to go back to your tables, grab a partner, and roll through it, roll through the kitchen. I'm only going to give you about 5 to 7 minutes, so get as many runs as you can with somebody real quick, and then we're going to keep moving. So thank you, Ted.
You're welcome. This is just in here for I don't know why. Oh, because the smaller sets are back here. So if I have to drop down, then I'll do that.
All right, let's go. Yeah, do it right. Actually, can you do it with the girls? Huh? It depends on.
I didn't know how to use
All right,
the
I'm
script.
taking your seat because she wants me to work.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Yeah.
I may like. Like I know all the prices.
What? I'm just gonna grab a bunch of them, kind of put what needs to put in them, and then sell them to my office.
And do the dribble. Hey guys, no, let me grab everybody's attention. Let me put this. No, not till I go over with you. I want to talk to you. Yo, listen up. So, what's really important, guys, and you want to get really good with dropping down, is whenever you're closing, you're going to go around this like, what's if they're like, oh, I'm not sure. What do you want to ask? Andy said it earlier. I'm not sure what color is. I'm not sure what's that. That's if they're quiet and not. Start with today, like in terms of tools, or is it more than they want to spend today? You know, when you ask if they want to get that set. And if it's more than they want to spend, call your office for deals. That's where trade-in specials and stuff that you guys can utilize to do a discounted pre-sale. If it's more than they want, more tools, then you're just going to drop down. But then you guys drop down and say, hey, we actually have one, maybe some people have to just start with the basic set and upgrade later. That would bring your price to this. You can still get like the deposits only to 65. Does that sound like something that works better for you? Or would you want to be like, yeah, you know that works? Or like, oh, these things smaller. And you go through my drop down process that the video has. Then you can explain the galley on the same place as the homemaker. And not, hey, if you were going to make your perfect set, Tristan, and you had to pick out your 4 or 5 favorites, what would they be? And they can pick those out. And then you can go through and show them the sets, pointing out the stuff that they like. So that's my drop down video. You want to go through that. You want to make sure that you get that down. So you're going to work on closing. So I want to give you guys some things, to-dos, focuses. So you can take out pen and paper. And then I'm going to have JD wrap up this portion. Many of you are going to meet with your managers, branches, and DMs are here. And I know like, oh, you want to be with this team, whatever. We're going to launch into making phone calls, right? So we rented this room until 8 o'clock. So we have it so we can get some phone time done here. So you don't have to drive to the office or whatever. You can just make calls here. And make sure you guys rip through 30, 40, 50 calls. Make sure these next 2 days are locked and loaded. But our goal is that everyone books up 5 demos before you guys leave from here today. And make sure that tomorrow is booked at a minimum. But you always want Sunday, Monday through Wednesday lined up. So you guys want to make sure we're getting booked up. But as we do, so you got a lot of stuff, right? You got a lot of papers. You got a lot of things. You need to pick one thing each day to get organized. Cool? So maybe tonight you're like, I want to go through my close more, but it's like tomorrow, I want to go through the closing stuff and make sure I'm fully good with my closing and my drop down. Okay, Tuesday, or actually tomorrow, what would be the first thing that I would do? Attack list, names and numbers. You guys track, you got the firm up, you got that. And you got the approach that I use forever. It's a combination of the acquaintance approach and the scholarship approach, but it has my building urgency. This is something I learned early on, and it's money in the bank. It's not just the words, it's how you say it, how you deliver it is super important. And some of you guys will go, well, I'm saying what you say, but like, I don't get it. It's not working. All right. So the music on this is super huge. You have the green paper. Take it out real quick. This is what it should sound like. I'm gonna do it once. All right. So I'm like, hey, Miss Jones, hey, Miss Smith, how are you? Like, oh, I'm great, whatever. I'm like, hey. I got a text. If I know this, I'm like, oh, did you get the text? I'm like, oh, that's me. I'm the Pucko girl. And they're like, hey, honey, what's up? And I'm like, hey, so it's already catching the flu. She must have been busy with whatever. If they said no, if they said yes, she's like, all right, awesome. Hey, do you have a, and I'm like, hey, reason I was calling, she said you might be able to help me out with something I'm working on for school. Do you have a quick step? All right? I won't be long, whatever you want to say there. And I'm like, hey, it'll be real quick. They're like, what's up? I'm like, I'm currently a student at Palm Beach Atlantic studying international business. This summer, I'm working with Cutco to get some business experience and earn scholarship money for school. If you're not a student, it's italicized, skip those parts. In order to get credit, I just need to pop by real quick and show you a quick presentation. It's the same thing I did with Julie. We had a great time. She said you were super nice and I thought you might be able to help me out. Plus, you don't have to get anything like she did because I do get paid just to show it. If they bought, add in like she did. If they didn't buy, you don't say that. All right, so you don't have to get anything because I get paid just to show it. If they own Cutco, oh, well, I have Cutco, then you read that that's great, all right? Now, put a star next to, so I'm not sure if Susie told you, put a star next to that. By the way, if they said their friend never told them about the demo that you were going to call, are you going to say that? No, you know she didn't tell her because they didn't talk, right? If she got the heads up or she was expecting your call, then you can say, hey, I'm not sure if Susie already told you, but my company is actually in our, you're going to talk about this time of the year. So right now, we're actually in our Super Bowl, like as a company. The entire nation is competing for 2 weeks for the national title. And my goal is to be one of the top performers and put myself on pace to win a scholarship. In order to hit my goal, I have to do 5 appointments per day. That's different for some of you. Some of you have 6 appointments a day, 7 appointments a day, whatever it is for your goal. All right. Then, guys, put 2 stars next to the reason I'm calling now. All right. So, like, so the reason I'm calling now is that in order to stay on track, I still needed to squeeze in 2 more for Saturday, 2 more for tomorrow. You guys are gonna use this now. So, okay, the reason I'm calling now is in order to stay on track, I still needed to squeeze in 2 more for tomorrow. And I was wondering if there's any way you could squeeze me in on such short notice at 11 a.m. or would 1 p.m. be better? All right. If they're not, and I always personally offered my next 2 available times. If they couldn't do that, because that's why I was calling, because I hadn't booked those yet. That's why I was calling them. So I always started with those. And then if they couldn't, I'm like, no worries. Figured I'd ask. I'm just working so hard. And I'm like, hey, is it better for you normally the day or the evening? And they're like, oh yeah, we work till 5. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, well, let me check my schedule. I'm like, actually, I still have an opening at 6:30, or I have a late night at 10:30 p.m. I'm not sure if you guys are night owls or not, but I do have a late night opening. And they're like, oh yeah, night works great for us, you know, or like, oh no, we're in bed by 9. You know, like it's one of the two. Like some people are night owls. Like actually, that's great. The kids are in bed, we're hanging out, chain a bottle of wine, no problem, come over, great, all right. But then I'm like, so just ask them. And when you ask for a time, I actually have a time I can pop by real quick at blank or blank time. Hey, would that work better for you? And then you're like, hey, okay, awesome. You don't know how much it helps me out. You've got to make sure to firm it up, all right? So if you build urgency and tie them into the time of the year, what you're working for, what your goals are, and you make sure it's a good time, they're going to be there unless they have an emergency. They always will, all right? And so you just want to make sure, hey, is this a definite time? They said around this time, it should be. For sure, I'm going to keep offering that time, and I'm going to book a definite, and I'll have them in my backups for that day. You know, if I have something else, I'm like, hey, actually, if we do it a little bit later, I have them with me at plenty time. You know, if they can still do it that day. If I have to call before I go for any reason, or they weren't totally sure, I'm counting on that not happening. So that's a backup. Where some people you count it as I should have it, you put it in your schedule. It's not in my schedule. All right. You've got to make sure when you're on the phone during the push that you're rating people. We'll talk about that more next week, but you've got to get in the habit of rating them like 1, 2, or 3, you know, like whatever your system is. But I was like super interested, super excited. Like this sounded like it's gonna be an awesome demo. That's like the top number 1. All right, 2 is like they were average, and 3 was like they just kind of sounded shitty on the phone. I don't even know if I'm having fun with that, but whatever. I still set them up. But then if I have someone else who's like amazing, like I'm gonna upgrade. You know, like I want to get booked, and then I'm gonna upgrade because if I go see someone and they buy a kitchen, and like, my sister's remodeling her house, and she would love all this. Like, and I have a demo coming up, and she's like, "Can you see her right now?" Yeah, hell yeah, I'm gonna go see her right now. So I'm gonna reschedule my other one. I would never reschedule a demo unless I was upgrading to a bigger or better one. Cool? That's the only time I would ever do that. So we're going to talk more about that next week, but every day this week. So 1, get your recs, get your attack list. Okay, you want to get your attack list and everything done by when? Wednesday. Cool? By Wednesday at latest. So sooner the better. If you need to set a deadline that by Wednesday, everything needs to be organized, your attack list is ready. Again, the sooner the better. You want to get more because you want to get your best people lined up for when? This week, sell 3, 5, 7, 10K, whatever it is, window momentum, and multiply those great leads going into next week. So you want to see them now. The biggest rookie mistake is to save those till later. And you heard from someone who's at 3 million in sales. Like, see your best people now. We know that, we know it, we've done it year after year after year, and we know the power of getting into those circles. And it's not thinking about one sale, it's how can I get 30 of those. The more of those people I see now, the more of those that I can get. So that's super important. Are you taking a day to get down? How do I explain cookware? Do I know about cookware? Studying cookware, you know? Make sure you have that. Are you taking, in our office, we're gonna have different workshops each day just for you. Like, do I feel really good talking about the cookware? What do I need to learn about cookware? There's a video Jane Andrews does. There's different things online. There's things on Vector Connect. Make sure you feel good explaining cookware. You need flatware and wellness mats. How do I explain the flatware? You have this here, but take a day. Again, each day, take 30, 45 minutes to go through stuff. So I'm like, all right, I want to make sure, do I know how to explain the flatware? Do I feel comfortable explaining the flatware? Do I feel comfortable going through accessories and showing the accessories to my customers? Do you want to take a day for that? All right. Goals. Do I feel good sharing my goals? You guys want to implement some stuff? So is that tonight? Is that tomorrow? When are you going to put together pictures and stuff? I would do it late tonight, you know, but put together, cut out stuff, put your goals, put it organized so that you have a dream. A great way to do it is to do what, you know, like JD mentioned, the back of your manual, the last page. We did that for SC1 is fill out what are those goals and then find pictures of them. You could do them list form, like Frank, how you have them. That's how some of the other guys, and Veronica has hers list. She has some pictures and she has lists of her goals that she shares with customers. So that works. I like a lot of pictures because human beings are visual, and it's like you see pictures, it creates more emotion too, you know? So I really like pictures a lot. So finding magazines, cutting stuff out, making collages of the stuff that you like. You gotta pick a day. Cool, you're like, hey, tomorrow I'm gonna do that from 10 to 11. Then I'm gonna rock lunch calls, and then I'm gonna rock a 1, you know, 12:30 or 1 o'clock, you know, 3:30, 5:30, 7:30, 9:30, you know, whatever it is. But just picking the time, whether you're going to get up early tomorrow morning, like I got to get up early because my week just sucks, then your bus should be up at 7, 7:30 the latest, rock 20 calls, and then work on your stuff and make sure you create a good day. So you finish the week strong. Everyone in here, you should all be on the newsletter tomorrow night, by the way. Like when I get my report Tuesday morning, you should all be on the newsletter. It's $1,000 to be on the newsletter. Some of you guys I know are already on it. I've already looked at the reports. Some of you guys are not. What the heck? We're getting ready for the Super Bowl. Like, you've got to finish tomorrow strong, okay? So that is huge, huge pressing is tomorrow. Make sure your butt's on the newsletter. For some of you, how many times over? Are you going to get to 3K for the week, 5K for the week? What are you going to get to? Finish tomorrow strong. And make sure Tuesday's getting booked up. So again, what do we need to get in line? Your goals pages, cool. Your attack list. Are you good with cookware? Are you good with flatware? Your closing. First, get your foundation. If you don't have your 8 and 9, you're in trouble. You know, but making sure your 8, 9, and your page 16 is unlocked, and then you can incorporate the stuff. But every day, you should be working on one thing, getting really good at one thing every single day this week. Okay, and I'll post in our group again a reminder of those things, and you can put whatever day you're going to work on it, or you guys can meet with your office and just say, hey, let's all just meet at this day every day and make sure to get this done, or work on it. Whoever can, maybe you have a demo, you can't come, but just make it a point to get ready and get organized. Again, that's why we have this a week out, so that you have time to make sure you're implementing, you're feeling really good, you're feeling confident, you're mastering, so you're ready to go out and kick some butt. All right. So I want to, when I get to JD, for him to share some stuff, I asked him to share and kind of wrap up this portion, and then your managers are going to meet with you so we can go through, make sure you have your goals and rock calls. And so we're going to have a little phone jam happening here. Want to make sure that we rock some calls and book up 5 demos is the goal. Everyone should book up at least 3, but 5+ demos. On Sunday nights, really you want to be booking at least 10 on Sundays, on Sunday nights. During the push, you want to be going for like 15, 20 demos booked up, but 10+ should be your number. We're like, all right, I'm sitting down for an all-day call day. We didn't have an all-day call day today, but it's like, you've got to book up at least 10, if not 15 or more. But this evening, can you line those up? So again, for me, I want to say, I know today was a long day. I know some of you guys didn't get the memo I had sent out. And I might have gotten lost with messages with some of the managers to make sure you guys brought snacks and food to eat. To make sure you guys, so I brought little granola bars just in case, which I'm glad I did. So you guys didn't die in the middle. But to make sure to bring your blue books and your rec binders, because we're going to make phone calls and make sure we're getting set up for a big challenge week. But today, again, it's a tough day. And I appreciate you guys taking out Sunday afternoon. I know many of you guys, we had a great time yesterday evening. Some of you guys had a really good time until late in the morning. And today you're like, shit, I probably shouldn't have drank that much. But I'm glad you made it. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad we got stuff done. All right. I was there at the party yesterday. So if we can hand it over. By the way, if we can thank everyone who gave tips and helped out today. Give these guys money. JD is someone that really this year, I asked him to share. He's really having this breakout year, and I'm super excited to see what he's doing and what he's going to do. Last year, he'll share a story like didn't do much. No one really knew like it was, and just seeing him transform and make a decision. I said, hey, I'd love for you to share like what happened. What was the transition? Where did you go from, a rep who like didn't do anything, didn't, sold some, whatever, like no one knew who you were, not even in our office probably, 90% of people knew who he was last summer, to what he's doing now. And I asked him if he'd be willing to share a couple thoughts with you guys as we go into second half of the summer, the biggest half of the summer. Even though it's only like 6-7 weeks, for some of you it's 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 7 weeks you have left, even though we have 8, but you're leaving the school, doing stuff. This is the biggest chunk. This is where, for myself, over $35,000 of it was sold with these next 5 weeks. So, JD, I'm going to turn this to you.
All right. Well, I'm going to share a couple of things with y'all. First of all, kind of where I was last summer, of course, and then the switch you can make, like I made from last summer to this summer, whether it be from, you didn't have a very good fast start, or, you killed your fast start, but you're kind of slowing down. And also some things to take advantage of with Cutco, because there's so much opportunity to build your resume, make money, scholarships. It's amazing. And then also what the push can do for you. But first of all, my fast start, I sold around $600 worth, something like that.
Super fast.
It was really, it was like a set of table knives and then like a couple, I don't even know. But I was a lifeguard, and I thought that I was making bank. And watching some people swim, I made like $200 every 2 weeks or something like that. And my total summer was like $7,000 or $9,000, right? But this summer, I was talking to, I don't even remember what it was. I was talking to Kathy, and I was like, I really wanted to go after the scholarship. I realized I only had like $15,000 to pay for my college or something like that. So I'm like, okay, I need a scholarship, I need income. So I decided, all right, I have the scholarship I can win, I have income I can make, so I'm just gonna go all in for the summer. And the way to make that switch is knowing that you want more. Like, you gotta realize that first before you even start working. Because if you're just selling to sell like I was last summer, you're just kind of going into it like, you want something? No? All right, cool. I'm going to go back to lifeguarding. But you have to know that you want something more. You have to set goals for yourself. And that's a huge thing for me. I set a goal of $70,000. That's gone up. But set a goal for yourself that you know you want, and something, it's just something that you want. You want more. But yeah, last year, it was in the office maybe 5 times the whole summer, maybe. But being in the office is also huge, because when you make calls in the office, you're just going to do a lot more and being more productive, and that's going to help you reach your goals. But also, the way to make a switch, if you set that goal, you need to work out the numbers. Like, if you want to sell, for y'all, it may be different. If you want to sell 50,000 in the summer, you need to figure out, okay, how many people do I need to see? What does my average order need to be? And you just need to work all these things out so you actually have a goal in mind, short term and long term. And then just some things to take advantage of that I realized this summer. First of all, the money is insane. Like, once you get to 30% and you sell a homemaker or something, make $200-300, and like I said last time, I make that in 2 weeks. But the resume, like, even if you just sell with Cutco, people love Cutco reps. So if you go into a job interview, they say, "Oh, you work for Cutco." They know that you're responsible, and it's just a great environment here, right? And then the soft skills you learn. You're on the phone all the time. Like, that's how we work. Some people don't even know how to talk on the phone. It's great to learn that skill, and getting good on the phones is a great life skill in general. Like, even if you're just talking to your aunt that you like, that's like really old and she like always talks on and on and on, it teaches you not to be annoyed with it. You know what I mean? But just life in general, people skills, talking, making eye contact with people. A lot of people our age, I've had Mrs. Jones tell me this plenty of times, you're really good at making eye contact, you know how to talk, and that's just another skill that you get to learn here. And then building connections. Me personally, I do want to go into entrepreneurship, so the connections I build with all of Mrs. Joneses in the Richmond area, I can talk to them later, and they can help me out with other things besides Cutco, if they like me, of course. Which goes into building rapport and all that good stuff, that sharing goals, which we talked about earlier. And then a big thing, which Kathy did ask me to talk about, the GCLA program, which I'm super excited for. She said it so many times, to be able to put on your resume that you ran your own business for a whole summer at 18, 19, 20 years old for a $250 million company. When people see that, they're like, how? Like, that's crazy. And to put that on your resume, that really just makes you stand out. And the reason why I'm excited about it, running the business, of course, the resume, the experience of being able to manage people, deal with problems, finding solutions. Because, successful people, they see a problem and they find a solution. But unsuccessful people find a problem and find someone else to solve it. That's what separates people. And then it also teaches how to be a leader, of course. It's self-explanatory. You're running the office yourself. You have people looking to you, so you need to know how to lead. But just the things that you get in Cutco, and then this summer, if you're going for GCLA, want an interview, what you need to do is you need to be consistent and hardworking, so Kathy can see, this person's serious about what they're doing. Me personally, I want to show my consistency, success, so I can get one of my top spots. But in terms of short-term, happening soon, SC2, I know some of y'all just started and you're not really getting the hype. I was the same way, but SC2 is one of the, like, last summer during SC2, I sold like 3,000 or something like that. As you can expect. But there's so many things that this push can do for you. First of all, going back to it, the money. You're gonna make a ton of money if you work hard. The recognition, if you get on, getting on stage, I know all of y'all can do that. $3,000 in 2.5 weeks. It's just great to go up there in front of your coworkers, some of your parents may be there, and you're just getting recognized for your work. And it's just an awesome feeling. And then 10K, of course, you get limo night, and that's a good time. But I can't talk about it. Stays on limo night. But I encourage all of you to go for 10K. It's a hard journey, but once you get on limo night and you're with all your friends, it is so worth it. And if you set a goal for yourself that's, seems far-fetched, but you can do it, it's going to be the hardest thing you ever do. Because during SC1, at least, that was the first time I've ever tried for a push, I guess you could say. And I was getting up for Alliance, getting up at 6 a.m., not getting home until 10 o'clock sometimes. It's the hardest thing you're ever going to do if you do it right. But The rewards are amazing. You're changing. You're getting to know how strong you are, I guess you could say. And then also the discipline, of course, because I don't know many people who like to wake up at 6 a.m. And go to I like going to the office. Once I get there, it's amazing. But I don't know many people who like to wake up at 6 a.m. to an annoying alarm clock and be like, all right, let's go. But it's just so amazing. You learn discipline. In my blue book, I always compare my discipline to the gym eventually with the Photoshop. But also, it's finishing the summer strong. Summer hasn't ended yet, but it is the biggest competition of the year, and you want to just go all out for it. And that's what this push can really do for you. And I hope to see just about all of you at limo night, because it is definitely worth it.
When you guys broke stuff down, raise your hand if you have a goal for 20K or higher. That's a lot of people. So just so you guys, if there's anyone else from that group, I know I talked to Randy earlier, he said if there's anyone else who's going for 20K or more, who's serious about hitting their goal and wants coaching, he will do an interview with you to see if he'll coach you. He said he's going to pick up a couple more people to coach during the push, people who are serious about going for 20K or more. He will be on your butt. You can ask them. You will be accountable. So if you're serious, it's no messing around. Like, he will be on top of you, so you need to be real serious about that. But he needs to interview you first to see if you're someone really worth taking this time out to coach, or if it's going to be a waste of his time, this conversation with you. But if you're serious about it, I'm going to put on here. So everyone's going to put, and I'll put my other computer here as well. So you can put your name, cell phone, office name, email, parent email 1. If there's a second parent you want me to email, put parent email 2. I need a parent email from everybody so I can introduce myself. Cool? So I can reach out to them. This is going to help you guys out, give them a little bit of clarity, and give them a chance to reach out to me if they want to. So the last thing I'll put here is Randy interview, question mark. I'm just going to say Randy, question mark. So if you want to get a call with him, for him to chat with you about the possibility of that, you can put your name or just put their yes. That way I can let him know to reach out to you. Cool? So that is only if you're serious about going for 20K plus, you could get a call to talk with him strategy and see if it matches up that you would be a good person for him to coach or not. All right? So just so you know that you have that option. So I'll put both computers on here. But I know many of your managers, those of you guys have managers in the room want to see you. Warriors, I want to meet right up here. Richmond, you guys go over there. But we're going to meet right up here. So I'll put off the music, talk to your managers, and then some of you guys can just start coming up here, put your info in. By the way, there's also, for anyone who wants to grab one, I have copies. This is the actual Leadership Academy application that you can fill out. Once you're over 6,000, we can get an actual interview. Well, you have to be over 10,000 to be selected, okay, in your career sales. You can grab one of these and hang on to it, and as soon as that is filled out, or if you're over 6,000, you can submit those right away, and we can schedule an interview here in the next 2 weeks. Cool? So thank you guys. So when we go through, we're at the event. We're together. We do our goal. All right, sir. Just gonna put your hands in. Just put it in. Just pretend we're standing in one big huddle. Go low. All right. I'm gonna lead us. I'm gonna lose my voice. Sorry. Go loud. Hey! We be champions. All right. Cool. Grab your managers. All right. Let's grab stuff here. We gotta make some calls. Make some calls.